Wu Feng, a sophomore at Hongdu University, stood 1.75 meters tall. The previous night at a bar, he'd hauled the dead-drunk rich heir Lu Guowei back to a hotel and dumped him onto the bed. As he turned to leave, a wave of drunken dizziness washed over him. Halfway down the road, he could no longer hold himself upright and leaned against a roadside bench, planning to shut his eyes for just a moment. That split second of rest felt like shoving his head into a blender. Everything spun wildly out of control. Ugh! Wu Feng struggled to push himself up off the cold wooden floor, pressing a palm hard against his throbbing temple. Where am I? The familiar hotel ceiling was gone, replaced by a ramshackle wooden hut drafty on all sides. The air reeked of damp, rotting mildew. Not far from him, a purple crystal orb glowing with soft white light hovered silently above a stone table, an eerie sight to behold. Wu Feng stretched out his left hand to prop himself against the stone table and stand. But the lingering alcohol hit hard. His legs turned weak the moment he bore weight, and he lost his balance completely, lurching forward with a heavy crash. Bang! His chest slammed hard against the edge of the stone table, and his palm landed square on the glowing crystal orb. In that instant, a frigid mechanical voice boomed unannounced deep inside his mind. Ding! System loading complete. Congratulations. You are now the owner of safe house number 9394, zone 999. At the same time, more than 20 stunning women who'd lain unconscious scattered across the hut stirred awake, roused by the loud crash and the system's announcement. They sat up one by one, rubbing bleary eyes, staring at the unfamiliar surroundings with shock and confusion etched across their faces. Before Wu Feng could recover from the stabbing pain in his chest, the cold robotic voice echoed inside every person's head, utterly devoid of emotion. The sovereign system has confirmed all global survivors have awakened. The Blue Planet Survival Code will now be broadcast. All survivors, listen carefully. Billions of humans across the globe have been transported to the Blue Planet. To prevent the extreme difficulty of solo survival, each safe house holds a fixed initial population of 30. Residents include people with pre-existing social ties, teachers and students, co-workers, family, etc., plus random strangers matched by the system. Once night falls, hordes of terrifying monsters will emerge. You must return to your safe house and bolt all doors and windows before dark. Early-stage safe houses can fend off low-tier monsters, but you must gather materials during daylight hours to upgrade your defensive structures without delay. The new player protection period lasts only 5 days. Once it expires, natural disasters and demonic beasts will strike simultaneously. Calamities run for 10 days, followed by a 3-day safe window. After that, disasters will grow more frequent with each cycle. The globe is divided into 10,000 zones, each housing over 600,000 people. Daytime lasts merely 10 hours daily, 8 to 1800 hours, and daylight will shrink further as natural disasters intensify. Guard the safe house core, the purple crystal orb, with your life. If the orb shatters, the safe house will cease to function entirely. It also serves as your sole channel for trading with the outside world. Every survivor carries a 30-slot personal backpack pre-stocked with basic survival supplies. A stone axe, starter clothing, 1 liter of fresh water, and bread. Consult the system handbook for additional features. All objects and living beings are ranked by tier, ordered from lowest to highest. Iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, jadeite, diamond, epic, mythic. Broadcast complete. To boost survival rates, the system grants every survivor 1 free spin on the lucky wheel. Good luck to all. The second the voice faded, a translucent blue light screen popped up directly before Wu Feng's eyes. Personal stats panel unlocked, zone/world chat channels unlocked, trade hub unlocked. Wu Feng slumped over the stone table, utterly dumbfounded. Blue planet? Monsters? Natural disasters? Survival of the fittest? Is this some sick joke? Am I still blackout drunk? He twisted his head sharply and spotted teacher Qin Yan from his university, sitting dazed on the floor alongside the other students, just as confused as he was. Right then, a massive 7-colored spinning wheel materialized dead center in his field of vision. The wheel was split into 7 segments: skills, food, daily supplies, weapons, raw materials, blueprints, tools. Wu Feng's heart hammered as he stared at the probability text beside the wheel. The odds of landing on skills were a mere 1 in 10,000, and drawing a gold tier skill dropped to 1 in a million. Rarity rose exponentially with higher tiers. He drew a deep breath and prayed to every deity he could name, hands clasped toward the wheel. Buddha, Jade Emperor, Ultramantiga, please grant me a skill draw. I'd even sacrifice 5 centimeters down there if that's what it takes. Finishing his plea, He squeezed his eyes shut and mentally tapped the start button hard. The pointer whirred at breakneck speed with an ear-splitting click-clack, gradually slowing. Food, weapons, blueprints. The needle drifted slowly past each segment before trembling to a halt on the square, representing hope, a silver tier skill. Ding. Congratulations, Survivor Wu Feng. You have drawn the silver tier skill, reinforcement. As the voice finished, the wheel dissolved into a brilliant white light orb that streaked straight toward Wu Feng's forehead. Then disaster struck out of nowhere. The moment the white light surged into his body, the black jade pendant Lu Guowei, the rich heir he'd carried home drunk the night before, had given him in a past life, erupted into a jet-black stream of light, shooting straight after the white glow into his chest. Ugh! Wu Feng let out a muffled groan, his chest burning as if pressed against a red-hot branding iron. White and black light collided, swirled, and fused violently inside his body. Before he could process what was happening, thunder boomed overhead, and the system alert sounded again, its tone noticeably urgent this time. Ding! Unknown energy detected interfering. Skill mutation in progress. Congratulations, Wu Feng. You have obtained the unique hidden mythic tier skill, amplified reinforcement. Wu Feng froze, then erupted with elation as he pulled open his personal panel. Everything can be reinforced? It can spawn extra affixes and new skills too. Wu Feng's mouth stretched into an uncontrollable grin as he read the description, snickering to himself alone. Mid-laugh, he suddenly remembered the desperate vow he'd made for the wheel spin, and his smile froze stiff on his face. He glanced downward instinctively, his expression solemn and resolute. Sorry, old boy. To stay alive, you'll have to make a sacrifice. The women nearby who'd just finished their own spins watched this scene, thoroughly creeped out. The man named Wu Feng alternated between giggling to himself, staring blankly downward, and wearing a mournful expression. Has he lost his mind from shock? Karina tugged several of her girlfriends and quietly stepped back a few paces. Even Qin Yin in the distance pulled the other female students away, eyeing Wu Feng warily. Noticing everyone's wary distance, Wu Feng straightened up and composed his expression. Teacher Qin, why is everyone stepping back? We need to discuss cooperating to survive. He walked toward Qin Yin as he spoke. Relieved to see Wu Feng acting normal again, Qin Yan's brows knit tight as she gestured at the crowd of women with blonde hair, blue eyes, and varied complexions. Student Wu, cooperation is absolutely necessary. But our biggest hurdle right now is the language barrier. We cannot communicate with one another at all. Wu Feng blinked. She was right. Aside from him, his teachers and fellow Hong nationals, there were survivors from the Polar Bear Nation, Sunlight Nation, and many other countries. Note: all nations and settings in this novel are purely fictional and bear no relation to real-world geography or countries. The system brought us all together, so there must be a solution. Wu Feng calmed his mind and scanned the system panel rapidly. He spotted an unassuming language button in the top left corner. He tapped it with his mind, and a lengthy list of languages popped open. Wu Feng scrolled all the way to the bottom and selected the glowing golden option, Universal All-Language Auto-Translation. A warm current washed over his brain instantly. Wu Feng turned to face the crowd, cleared his throat, and spoke in a steady tone. Ladies, can everyone understand me now? The noisy, panicked hut filled with dozens of foreign tongues fell dead silent in an instant. Every woman stared at Wu Feng in shock. Karina's wide blue eyes widened with disbelief, and she exclaimed fluently in Polar Bear Nation's language, "Good heavens! Can you speak our tongue?" "No. Wait, I can understand yours." Wu Feng smiled faintly and gestured toward his system panel. "It's not my talent, it's a system feature. Check the top left corner, tap the language button, and select Universal All Language. We'll have zero communication barriers from here on out." No one wasted a second after hearing this. They fumbled frantically to pull up their own system interfaces. Panic still lingered thick in the air, yet logic told them collapse was a luxury they could not afford. In this cruel, unknown world, basic communication was the foundation of any alliance. If they could not even talk to one another, cooperation was nothing but empty words. Before monsters even laid siege that night, internal conflict and mutual suspicion would tear them apart and seal their fates. While the women familiarized themselves with the system menus, Wu Feng quickly opened the 4-tab layout in the bottom right corner. Character panel, chat channels, safe house panel, team panel, personal backpack skill panel. He pulled up his character and safe house stats first, his brows drawing tight at the numbers displayed. Personal stats panel name, Wu Feng gender, male age, 20 title, none innate skill, Mythic Tier Amplified Reinforcement Non-Upgradable Safe House Assignment. Owner of Safe House number 9394, Zone 999 level. 0 condition. Healthy HP. 100 0 HP equals instant death spirit power. 100 shock onset below 10. Brain death at 0 vitality. 100 paralysis below 10. Fatal overexertion at 0 stamina. 10 average adult baseline. Governs vitality cap and physical durability strength. 10 average adult. Baseline. Governs physical attack damage spirit. 10 average adult baseline. Governs magic damage and spirit capacity endurance. 10 average adult baseline. Governs physical defense and willpower agility. 10 average adult baseline. Governs movement and attack speed unassigned stat points. 0 level up experience. 0/10 note. Every level up grants +1 to all base stats, +1 free unassigned stat point. Character evaluation. A takeout meal monsters would fight over. Wu Feng's mouth twitched sharply at the brutally honest evaluation. He switched to the Safe House panel next. Safe House stats tier. Level 1 dimensions. 20m x 20m guardrail perimeter included safety rating. 5 extremely low status. Protection period 5 days remaining next upgrade requirement. Lumber ×10, stone ×10 Safe House evaluation. A flimsy takeout box any monster can tear open. This system's roasts are absolutely brutal, Wu Feng muttered helplessly. Glancing around the drafty ramshackle hut, he saw the rickety branch guardrails stuck shallowly in the dirt outside the cracks, barely enough to hold back a stray dog, let alone ravenous beasts. The takeout box comparison was far too accurate. He refocused on the women, who'd finished activating the translation function and now whispered among themselves. Wu Feng cleared his throat and raised his voice. Ladies, may I have your attention? All heads turned toward him, and he spoke with a grave expression. I'm sure everyone heard the system's broadcast. If we do not stand united, none of us will survive even this first night. Forget the natural disasters 7 days from now. Just look at those pathetic guardrails outside. What monster could they possibly stop? If beasts break through, the consequences will be catastrophic. Panic surged through the women at his words. Karina, the beauty from the polar bear nation, spoke up. Wu Feng, you see the full picture clearly. Do you have a plan we can all discuss? Note. Team members may view each other's profiles via the team panel. Qin Yin nodded beside her. Agreed, Student Wu. You are the safe house owner. Share whatever plans you have. With the crowd silent and waiting for direction, Wu Feng laid out his 3-part strategy without hesitation. First, resource consolidation. Everyone lay out all supplies you drew from the wheel, and we sort out usable stock immediately. Second, skill disclosure. Post all your skills to the team chat, so I can assign tasks appropriately. Third, divided labor. Upgrading the safe house demands massive lumber and stone, not to mention food and water. Our workload is enormous. We will split into 4 squads. Exploration team, logging team, resource gathering team, and logistics team. His gaze sharpened as he swept over every woman present. Finally, for the sake of our survival, I will not tolerate anyone dragging the group down. If I discover anyone putting the whole team in danger out of selfish motives, I will exercise my owner authority to evict them from the safe house. His words were harsh, yet carried immense weight in the face of life or death. After a brief round of discussion among the group, Eliza from the Americas stepped forward first. If no one has a better alternative, my friends and I fully support Wu Feng's plan. Shortly after, smaller groups each held quick private talks and voiced their agreement. Qin Yin from Hong Nation, Karina from Polar Bear Nation, Lin Yunhee from Sovereign Nation, Anna from White Crow Nation, Isabel from France, the Ella sisters from Anglo-German Nation, and Kitagawa Kyoko from Sunlight Nation all nodded their consent. With the group unified, Wu Feng issued his first order. Very well. Post all your skills to the team chat now. A flood of skill notifications quickly filled the channel. Wu Feng skimmed through them rapidly, mentally calculating the full potential of their party. Support skills Qin Yin, Purification Silver Lin Yunhee, Insight Sight Gold Isabel, Healing Arts Platinum Charlotte, Aura Boost Bronze Anna, Divination Platinum. Passive skills Kitagawa Enzu, Eagle Eye Bronze Han Xiaoyan, Danger Sense Silver. Life crafting skills Su Jiesun, Fabrication Bronze Victoria, Tailoring Silver, Defensive skills Sophia, Earthen Wall Silver. Offensive skills Ella Elder Sister, Fireball Iron Mila Younger Sister, Ice Arrow Iron Eliza. Telekinesis Platinum Kitagawa Kyoko, Swift Shadow Swordsmanship Gold. Transformation skills Karina, Dragon's Wrath Jadeite tier. 2 skills stood out far above the rest. The first was Karina's Jadeite tier Dragon's Wrath. The second caught Wu Feng's particular attention, Anna's divination. Anna, step forward please. Wu Feng called her name in a solemn tone after reading the skill description. A young woman around 23 stepped out from the crowd. She wore her chestnut-brown long hair tied into a loose low ponytail, her sapphire blue eyes soft, a gentle smile playing on her lips. She wore a black camisole midi dress, sheer thin stockings covering her long legs, and short-heeled clear crystal slippers. Every movement balanced elegant poise with quiet mature charm. Anna walked over to the stone table and sharply sensed Wu Feng's gaze lingering beneath the hem of her skirt. A blush instantly tinted her cheeks. She fidgeted slightly and spoke softly. I was at home when I got teleported here, so I'm dressed casually. Wu Feng, do I look strange like this? Wu Feng snapped out of his daze at once and put on a stern, serious expression. No, not at all. I was just lost in thought. I swear I wasn't staring at your legs. His denial only made everyone nearby snicker. They'd all seen his unblinking stare a moment earlier. The tense atmosphere lightened considerably thanks to this little mishap. Wu Feng cleared his throat to hide his embarrassment and quickly moved on to business. Anna, now that everyone's relaxed, cast lesser divination twice to see what fortune awaits us today. Anna nodded, closed her eyes, and focused her mind. A moment later, she opened her eyes and sent screenshots of her divination results to the team chat. Lesser divination number 1, minor auspicious omen. Around 700 meters straight south of the cabin, beneath the trees, lies an iron black treasure chest. However, an injured forest black wolf lurks behind the chest. Note, watch out for minor troubles along the way. Lesser divination number 2, minor inauspicious omen. On the grass beside the river roughly 850 meters southeast of the cabin, there may be an unexpected surprise. If you take the surprise, be extremely careful not to alert the king unicorn Merlion, otherwise, grave trouble will follow. Reading the two forecasts, a sharp glint flashed in Wu Feng's eyes. An injured black wolf? It was basically free experience waiting for them. He made an instant decision, tapped the storage crate beside him, and addressed the group. Perfect, our targets are clear. Everyone, take all the prizes from your backpacks and lay them on the ground, so we can see which tools we can use right away. As soon as he finished speaking, the 12 young women walked one after another to the open space beside the stone table. With a thought, they materialized their belongings, which clattered onto the ground. A sharp axe, 1 carton of 6 2-liter frog wheat mineral water bottles, an iron cauldron the size of a bathtub, 2 sacks of 25 kilograms silky long grain rice, 5 units of iron, a complete 7-piece bedding set, a pack of 10 rolls of soft toilet paper, a fine steel longsword, a blueprint for crafting water storage containers, a large pack of 96 day and night sanitary pads, a crossbow, and 50 matching crossbow bolts. Note, learning a crafting blueprint grants a permanent recipe. The blueprint itself is consumed on use. Staring at the abundant supplies spread across the ground, Qin Yin let out a long breath and said gently, with all these supplies, we should make it safely through the night, right? Make it safely. Wu Feng shook his head. In this unfamiliar world, passive defense is a slow death sentence. We need to strike first and turn threats into resources. Wu Feng watched Liang Zian shuffle awkwardly out of the crowd. She quickly tossed a tiny pink box onto the pile of goods, then spun around as if electrocuted and scurried back without a backward glance. Everyone fixed their eyes on the small pink box resting quietly next to the white toilet paper rolls. After making out the vague English lettering and tiny umbrella graphic printed on the packaging, the air turned deathly silent for a split second. The women, who'd still been somewhat solemn a moment prior, were utterly dumbfounded. Liang Zian, stop right there. Wu Feng's face burned with awkwardness, the corners of his mouth twitching. How could you bring something like this out? Take it back at once. Liang Zian, who'd already run several paces away, halted, planted her hands on her hips, and shot back confidently. Wu Feng, you told everyone to hand over all our lottery prizes. Hoarding supplies would label me a liability to the team. I couldn't bear that stigma. She then folded her hands flat over her lower right abdomen, stood with her feet together and knees slightly bent, and tilted her head down, striking a comical pose like an ancient palace maid begging for forgiveness, her tone laced with mischief. Wu Feng pressed a palm to his forehead in helplessness. The problem is we have zero use for this right now. Can't you keep it for yourself? I've already turned it over to the group. Besides, who else here would need it besides you, Wu Feng? Liang Zian blinked innocently. The issue is I've got no chance to use it either. Are you volunteering to lend it to me? Wu Feng grumbled irritably. Sure, take it if you want. Liang Zian answered automatically before she realized what she'd said. Her face flamed bright red instantly. She pointed at Wu Feng and stammered, "Why you're talking nonsense? I meant you could blow it up as a balloon." Uffed! Someone burst out laughing first, and the heavy, tense atmosphere shattered completely. Even the poised Anna, Karina, and Ivanka covered their mouths to stifle giggles. Qin Yin pressed a fist to her lips, trying desperately to hold back her laughter, but the upward curve of her cheeks gave her away entirely. "Wu Feng, you jerk!" Liang Xian's face blazed crimson with shame and rage. She lunged toward him, claws out. Su Jiesin, Lin Shanshan, and Li Ruqian reacted fast. Two grabbed her arms, one wrapped her arms around her waist, and they dragged her toward the back room like hauling a dead weight. "Wu Feng, you lifelong virgin bastard. Just you wait." Liang Xian's shouts echoed through the wooden cabin. Once Liang Xian was settled, Qin Yin walked back to the center of the hall and shot Wu Feng an annoyed glare. "Earlier, you looked so serious arranging our tasks, and I thought you were mature and steady. Turns out you're just a child who never grew up." Wu Feng hid behind Anna, throwing up his hands with an innocent expression. "Teacher Qin, cross my heart. It was Liang Xian who brought it out first. She's a grown woman. Doesn't she know what counts as survival necessities right now? Enough of your silly banter." Qin Yin sighed helplessly. "Hurry and sort out our real work. Night is falling fast." Wu Feng wiped the grin off his face, strode back to the stone table, and spoke in a solemn tone. "All right, joke time's over. Ladies, split into teams and move out immediately. Time is tight. Only 6.5 hours remain until sunset. I'll lead one squad to the woods 700 meters south to retrieve the treasure chest. Once we finish our objective, we'll head over to back up the other teams." No sooner had he finished speaking than everyone quickly split into groups. Wu Feng glanced at the timer on his panel, 11:27. The team assignments were finalized soon after. Eliza, gifted with psychokinesis, would lead a squad to scout the unexpected surprise by the river 850 meters away. Karina, the strongest physically, would lead a logging crew nearby quota, 30 units of lumber. Qin Yin and Ella's team would forage for edible ingredients close by. Anna and Myra's squad would gather stones in the vicinity quota, 30 units of stone. The group accompanying Wu Feng into the woods included Lin Yunxi, Han Xiaoyan, the two Kitagawa sisters, and Sophia, whom Eliza had sent over to assist. Wu Feng walked over to the pile of supplies and picked up 3 weapons to distribute: common iron black longsword strength +2, bronze axe strength +3, stamina +1, and composite crossbow bronze strength +2, agility +2. After a brief discussion, the crossbow went to Atsuko Kitagawa, who excelled at archery and possessed the Eagle Eyes passive. The longsword was given to Kyoko Kitagawa, a kendo practitioner with the swift shadow swordsmanship skill. The iron black axe was handed to Karina for logging duty. All remaining supplies were stored in the communal storage crate beside the stone table. Once preparations wrapped up, Qin Yin stepped beside Wu Feng, her tone a mix of concern and curiosity. "Wu Feng, are you sure you'll be fine leading a squad alone? Also, what did you draw from the lottery earlier?" Wu Feng hadn't planned to reveal his skill. It was far too overpowered, and exposing it would only attract unnecessary trouble. But Qin Yin had asked directly, and they'd all been cooperating honestly, so he saw no reason to keep it hidden. After a moment's thought, he shared his skill panel to the team chat. Qin Yin glanced down, her pupils suddenly constricting, and she gasped aloud without thinking. How is this even possible?" Her voice was soft, yet it rippled through the group like a stone hitting still water, drawing every pair of eyes. Seeing her stunned expression, everyone quickly opened the team chat. When they read the iridescent text describing his skill, an uproar broke out. "Mythic rank. Am I seeing this right? A mythic tier skill. I must be dreaming." Exclamations rang out, some stunned, some envious, others with complicated emotions flickering across their faces. Wu Feng raised a hand to quiet the crowd, his voice steady and commanding. "Everyone settle down." His tone carried unshakable authority despite its volume. The group slowly recovered from their shock, yet excitement still hung thick in the air. Several people had privately doubted putting Wu Feng in charge of the cabin, but upon reading the glowing mythic skill description, all skepticism vanished, replaced by genuine trust and awe. Once silence fell and all eyes locked on him, Wu Feng spoke in a low, sharp voice. "I expect none of you to leak what you've seen today to regional chat or any public channel. If a single word slips out, I will spare no expense to put a global bounty on your head and hunt you to the ends of this world." Instantly, sweat prickled everyone's skin. They imagined the power of a mythic skill capable of amplifying and strengthening anything. If Wu Feng posted a merciless reward for someone's capture, that person would not live to see the next dawn. Meanwhile, those who hadn't drawn any skills looked at Wu Feng with newfound hope glinting in their eyes. The young women needed to change into the outfits gifted by the system inside the cabin, so Wu Feng stepped outside alone. He pushed open the rickety wooden door, squinting against the harsh sunlight outside. This fence is nothing but decoration. It couldn't even keep a stray dog out, Wu Feng muttered in complaint. While the girls changed, Wu Feng wandered to the back of the cabin alone. Staring at his mere 12 agility stat, he thought to himself, if I can't win a fight, at the very least I need to be able to run away. Ding! First amplification enhancement grants a 100 success rate. With a thought, Wu Feng safely spent 3 amplification enhancement points to strengthen his legs. Ding! Leg amplification enhancement complete. 2 affixes obtained. First affix, Wings of Agility plus 1 per level. Second affix, Golden Tier skill, Swiftness boost agility by 30 for 20 seconds, 2-minute cooldown, costs 5 spirit and 5 vigor. Now I'm far safer. A faint smile tugged at Wu Feng's lips upon unlocking a Golden Tier skill from enhancement. The young women emerged after changing, each looking sharp and valiant. Wu Feng checked the system map to confirm their heading, then led his 5-person squad through the tall grass and into the unknown forest. They hadn't ventured deep into the woods before thick foliage blotted out the sunlight overhead. Wu Feng and Han Xiaoyan walked at the front. Han Xiaoyan closed her eyes, casting her sensibility to spread a wide detection field. Watch out, there's a dangerous energy signature in the tree ahead. Han Xiaoyan suddenly halted, held a finger to her lips for silence, and pointed toward a dense tree 10 meters ahead. The group held their breath and circled wide, staying 10 meters clear of the trunk. Shortly after they passed, 2 enormous black snake heads slowly lowered from the canopy, flicking their tongues as they watched the squad depart before retreating back into the leaves. Lin Yunqi sent a scan showing a level 5 2-headed black python. Wu Feng's heart skipped a beat. Thank goodness we didn't rouse it. They traveled another 400 meters before Han Xiaoyan pulled Wu Feng to a stop again. 2 wolves are playing beneath the tree up ahead. Peering through gaps in the grass, they spotted 2 1-meter-long forest wolves resting under a tree less than 200 meters from their destination. Lin Yunqi activated Inside Eyes at once. Forest Wolf Iron Black / level 1 HP, 100 skills, Bite, Claw Swipe Weak Point. Abdomen description, Burp. Just finished a full meal, don't bother us. 2 level 1 mobs, perfect target practice. Wu Feng glanced at the stats shared in team chat and made a quick plan. Atsuko Kitagawa. Hit the left one with your crossbow first, then back off to create distance. Kyoko Kitagawa, cover her. Sophia, you and I pin down the right wolf. Lin Yunqi and Han Xiaoyan, keep watch for threats all around us. Whoosh. Hidden by jungle cover, Atsuko squeezed the crossbow trigger. The bolt buried itself cleanly in the left forest wolf's belly. Oh whoa. 20% of the wolf's health bar vanished instantly. Enraged, it sprang forward and charged straight for Atsuko. At the same time, Wu Feng rushed to draw the second wolf's attention. It spotted its foes, pushed off with its hind legs, and lunged at Wu Feng, jaws gaping wide. Swiftness. Wu Feng activated his skill, his body growing light as a swallow. At the split second the wolf's fangs would have sunk into his throat, he leaped backward, narrowly dodging the strike. The wolf's momentum carried it forward, off balance with no follow-up attack ready. Earthen wall. Sophia waved a hand. The ground rumbled and a 3-meter-tall stone barrier erupted out of nowhere, slamming hard into the wolf's flank. Boom. The brutal impact sent the beast flying over 4 meters. It crashed heavily against a boulder, losing 70% of its health in an instant. Die. Wu Feng seized the opening, charging forward with his stone axe, and hacking 3 deep blows into the wolf's soft belly. Squelch. 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 The wolf let out a mournful howl as its health bar emptied, collapsing motionless on the ground. Ding. Congratulations, your party has slain a level 1 forest wolf. You gain 5 experience points. A wispy white light floated above the corpse. Wu Feng reached out and grasped it. Obtained, Wolf Fang Blade Iron Black. On the other side, the Kitagawa sisters fought in seamless coordination. Kyoko's longsword parried and distracted the second wolf, while Atsuko finished it off with crossbow bolts. When Atsuko's final bolt struck, the nearly dead wolf crumpled. In the next instant, 6 streaks of golden light wrapped around every squad member. They'd all leveled up. A warm surge of energy washed over their bodies, fully restoring all stamina and spirit spent during the fight. Wu Feng knelt beside the wolf carcass and cast Basic Harvest. Ding! Harvest successful. Obtained. Plain wolf hide times 1. Wolf meat times 2 kg. Wolf bone times 1 kg. Beast tendon times 1. Intact wolf fong times 1. This system's really stingy. It doesn't even leave any organs behind, and it schemes so much meat and bone too. Wu Feng brushed dust off his hands and stood, complaining. He turned to Sophia beside him, genuine admiration in his eyes. Sophia, that earthen wall trick earlier was brilliant. How did you think to use a defensive spell as an attack? Your timing was flawless. No wonder Ivanka sent you to back me up. Praise from Wu Feng painted Sophia's pale cheeks pink. She twisted the brown curls at her chest between her fingers and spoke earnestly. Wu Feng, you've fallen into a misunderstanding. Don't treat this place like a game. We were transported here. This is a real world. She paused to elaborate. If a rock hits a person in reality, they get hurt. When I summon an earthen wall to crash into something like a boulder, the effect is identical. Even if the system rules the wall itself deals no direct damage, the physics of being knocked flying, slammed, and thrown to the ground still register as valid injury. Note: similar to the female grappler's mechanics in the game Dungeon Fighter. Wu Feng fell into brief thought. He recalled how recklessly he'd charged in right after activating swiftness, and a chill ran through him thinking how close he'd come to disaster. I haven't fully adjusted my mindset to this world yet. I treated it like a video game the second I cast my skill. From now on, I need to play it slow and steady, he muttered to himself. After collecting his thoughts, Wu Feng quickly opened his personal panel to check his updated stats. Level, 1 HP, 100 Spirit, 101/Vigor, 101 regenerates 1 point naturally every 2 minutes. Higher stats raise maximum value stamina, 11/Strength, 12/Spirit, 11/Agility. 12 includes passive +1 buff, free attribute points. 1 character evaluation, still the favorite takeout meal for all monsters. The corners of Wu Feng's mouth twitched. He allocated his single free attribute point to strength, then inspected the newly acquired weapon. Wolf Fong Blade Iron Black Slot. Weapon required level, 2 stats, strength +3. Both are iron black gear, but this Wolf Fong Blade gives +3 strength, far better than that shoddy stone axe only granting +1. Wu Feng nodded in satisfaction and swapped the blade into his hand. Seeing everyone gasping for breath and resting under the shade of trees, Wu Feng spoke up. Everyone take a break first. Han Xiaoyan, Lin Yunxi, come with me to scout the treasure chest. Contact the team channel immediately if you spot anything unusual. The three ducked low, slipping deeper into the woods concealed by jungle shrubs. After brushing aside hanging vines, a wide clearing unfolded before their eyes. Beneath a massive willow tree sat a glowing black treasure chest. Wu Feng held up a hand to signal them to halt, his sharp gaze sweeping behind the chest. A pitch-black shadow lay sprawled on the ground, a giant jungle-black wolf covered in steel like black bristles, painfully licking its hind leg. Wu Feng noticed a deep, bone-deep gash tearing the wolf's left hind leg, dripping fresh blood. He chose not to charge in recklessly and gestured for Lin Yunxi to activate Eye of Insight. Moments later, Lin Yunxi sent the scan stats to the team channel. Forest Black Wolf Black Iron Tier /LV.4 HP, 65 skills. Bite, Claw Swipe Weak Points. Abdomen, Wounded left leg. Description: tried to sneak around with a married female wolf and got caught by the male wolf returning from hunting. He sustained a leg bite while fleeing and stopped here to tend his wound. Reading the description, Wu Feng nearly lost his composure. Wow, so this is a homewrecker who got caught red-handed. A clear plan formed in his mind. He gestured silently for the two girls to retreat with him. Back with the main group, he quickly laid out the battle tactics. This wolf has a severe leg injury and can barely move. Kyoko Kitagawa, focus all your fire on its wounded leg. Kyoko Kitagawa, and I will block its escape left and right. Sophia, use earthen wall to knock it airborne or cut off its path at the right moment. Yunxi and Xiaoyan, stand guard for surprises. Everyone acknowledged the orders and quickly took up their combat positions. Whoosh, whoosh. Ayako Kitagawa swiftly loaded and pulled the trigger. 2 crossbow bolts sinking cleanly into the wolf's injured hind leg. Agony tore a shrill howl from the beast. It tried to stagger to its feet and run, only to stumble straight into Wu Feng's prearranged encirclement. Thinking you can run? Too late. In an instant, Wu Feng and Kyoko Kitagawa sealed off its escape routes from both sides. Trapped with nowhere to flee, the wolf flew into a berserk rage, pushing off its uninjured leg to pounce straight at Kyoko Kitagawa, standing front and center. Swift shadow swordsmanship. Kyoko dodged the lunge sideways. Invisible wind coiled around her long sword, blurring her figure into a fleeting shadow as she slashed 3 consecutive cuts across the wolf's soft, exposed belly. 3 bone-deep gashes split open, gushing blood everywhere. The forest black wolf crashed heavily to the ground. Before it could scramble back up, the earth beneath it rumbled and surged upward. Sophia's earthen wall struck again, hurling the wolf straight toward Wu Feng. Swiftness boost. Wu Feng activated his skill the second the wolf came flying. His body moved faster than lightning, nimbly dodging the falling beast. Before it could recover from landing, he charged forward, hacking wildly at its belly with his wolf-tooth blade. Squelch, squelch, squelch. The wolf's last sliver of HP vanished instantly, and it collapsed motionless. Ding. Congratulations, your party has slain a level 4 forest black wolf. Gained 8 EXP. Wu Feng let out a long sigh of relief. No one had taken any damage. A white light orb floated up from the corpse, and he stepped forward to collect it. Obtained. Wolf Leather Boots Black Iron Tier. Wolf Leather Boots Black Iron Tier required level. LV.2 stats. +2 agility. After a brief discussion, the agility boosting boots went to Kyoko Kitagawa, the fast attack swordsman, to maximize her damage output. With the gear distributed, all eyes turned to the black treasure chest. Nobody else wants to open it? I'll do it. Wu Feng walked over to the chest, took a deep breath, and laid his palm on the lid. Opening black iron treasure chest. Progress. 1, 15, 40. Estimated time remaining, 10 seconds. Warning. The opening process will be interrupted if you take damage. Ensure the surrounding area is secure. Once the progress bar hit full, the lid creaked open slowly. Obtained. 1 times Ordinary Staff Black Iron Tier obtained. 1 times Thorny Iron Gate Blueprint Black Iron Tier obtained. 5 times Merlin Spam Can Meat obtained. 3 times Old Village Chief Baijiu, 500 milliliters each. Everyone lit up with delight seeing the loot list pop up in the channel. They'd gotten weapons and food, their 2 most scarce supplies right now. Ordinary Staff Black Iron Tier required level. LV.3 stats, +4 spirit. Thorny Iron Gate Blueprint Black Iron Tier type. Gate material requirement. For units of iron. Wu Feng sent the full chest loot list to the team chat. Everyone's eyes sparkled when they saw the Thorny Iron Gate blueprint. This iron gate would be far sturdier than their flimsy wooden doors. Mission complete. Rest for 10 minutes before we set off to assist Elisa's squad. Wu Feng stowed the wolf meat he'd harvested and led the group to rest under nearby trees. During the break, Wu Feng checked in with each subteam. The only minor issue was Liang Xian from Qin Yan's group, who'd suffered an upset stomach after tasting wild berries. Qin Yan had immediately cured her with purification magic. All other teams had run into no trouble. He also confirmed Ivanka's exact location. Once the 10-minute rest ended, the group set off again. Along the way, Han Xian's sense detection saved them twice, alerting them to forest wolves hiding in the tall grass and ghost-faced gray monkeys lying in wait in the treetops. They still endured 2 surprise ambushes, but thanks to their smooth team coordination forged in the previous 2 fights, they wiped out the threats quickly. After felling 2 level 3 forest wolves, every member successfully leveled up to LV.3. Wu Feng stared at the empty wolf carcasses and couldn't help complaining. The drop rate is ridiculous. Are these wolves so poor they only have meat to offer? Lin Yunqi covered her mouth and giggled, teasing him. Appa Wu Feng. Maybe these 2 were just like that homewrecker wolf we fought earlier. They snuck over to visit the female wolf, heard the real mate coming back, and ran off without grabbing their gear. All the girls burst into laughter and joined in teasing Wu Feng. 1 wolf sneaking around is believable, but 2 both cheating and getting caught by us at the exact same time. Wu Feng spread his hands helplessly. Sophia, walking at the back, chimed in with a grin. Maybe the female wolf invited 2 males over. The first one arrived, then the second showed up. The first panicked and fled when he thought her mate was coming. The second took off his gear only to realize the real husband was actually back, so he ran for his life. That makes perfect sense. You women have such wild imaginations. Wu Feng laughed and shook his head. All right, cut the banter. Let's hurry to meet up with Ivanka. Around 7 minutes later, they spotted Elisa's squad at the edge of a thicket. Wu Feng crouched down and watched Elisa fully focused, using her telekinesis to quietly steal fish that the river's unicorn merlions had tossed onto the shore, floating them into the bushes. Whoa, you're stealing fish. Wu Feng exclaimed in surprise. He counted more than 20 unicorn merlions in the river and had to admire Elisa's sneaky tactics. He went on to ask, this so-called surprise you mentioned can't just be the fish, right? Elisa guided 1 fish to float down in front of the group and point toward the 10 o'clock direction. The surprise definitely isn't the fish. Look over there. Following her finger, they spotted a natural cave beneath a 5-meter-tall boulder. Deep inside the meter-wide opening lay a far larger unicorn merlion fast asleep, and right beside it glowed a faint teal light, a bronze treasure chest. There's a bronze chest here. Did you try retrieving it, Elisa? Wu Feng asked. I tried twice already. Elisa shook her head helplessly. That merlion is extremely vigilant. If I lure it out with fish, it turns back less than 100 meters into the woods. It also knows water arrow. A direct attempt to sneak the chest would leave us with heavy casualties. As soon as she finished speaking, Lin Yunxi targeted the cave's unicorn merlion with Eye of Insight and sent its stats to the channel. King Unicorn Merlion Black Iron Boss /LV.8 Race. Beast Max HP. 100 Skills. Unicorn Charge. Water Arrow. Heavy Claw Strike. Weak Point. White patch of fur on its chest. Heart location description. This king is furious. Why haven't those fools brought me more fish yet? Wu Feng frowned deeply, staring at the level 8 boss. The level gap was far too wide. A head-on fight would be a suicide mission. His gaze flicked back and forth between the treasure chest and the gluttonous Merlion King, and a plan quickly took shape in his head. Elisa, your telekinesis has a maximum range of roughly 20 meters, correct? Wu Feng lowered his voice and laid out the new battle plan. You don't need to attack. Just take one fish and float it around in its blind spot, luring it deep into the thicket far from the cave. Move slowly, don't let it sense a trap. Sophia, you and Ayako flank and lie in ambush. Once this big beast chases the bait 90 meters out, Sophia use earthen wall to block its path, and Ayako harry it with ranged attacks. Kyoko and I will dash in to open the chest while it's distracted. Understood. Elisa nodded, her fingertips twitching. A fish resembling a grass carp lifted off the ground, floating as if alive along the edge of the grass, drifting slowly backward and sideways. The unicorn Merlion King twitched its nose and lifted its massive lion head sharply. When it spotted the free meal floating slowly away, its feral glare faded, replaced by greedy hunger. It let out a low growl, its bulky body moving with surprising agility as it bolted out of the cave to chase the bait. Now move. Once the monster had chased the bait 60 meters away, Wu Feng let out a sharp shout and sprinted out of the bushes like a cheetah. Kyoko hot on his heels. The two reached the boulder in an instant. Without hesitation, Wu Feng pressed his palm flat against the bronze chest lid. Opening bronze treasure chest. Progress. 1, 10, 15. Estimated time remaining. 15 seconds. Warning. The opening process will be interrupted if you take damage. Ensure the surrounding area is secure. Damn it. It takes 5 seconds longer than the black iron chest. Wu Feng cursed silently, beads of sweat sliding down his forehead. Appa Wu Feng, it's figured something out. Lin Yunxi's panicked warning carried over from afar. Wu Feng glanced back 80 meters away. The unicorn merlion had sensed the commotion behind it, abandoned the bait, and spun around on a dime. Pale blue light gathered at its horn, forming a crystal-clear water arrow, its water arrow skill. Shit! Wu Feng gritted his teeth. 8 seconds still left on the progress bar, helpless dread washing over him. Whoosh! The water arrow sliced through the air straight for Wu Feng's back. At this critical moment, the ground rumbled and surged upward 30 meters between Wu Feng and the monster, earthen wall. Sophia's support arrived just in time. A thick earthen barrier shot up to block the projectile. The water arrow slammed hard into the wall, punching a large hole through it, yet 90% of its force was dissipated. The remaining water fizzled out midair. That was way too close. Wu Feng exhaled in relief, his taut nerves unwinding as he fixed his full attention on the chest progress bar. Progress. 98, 99, 100. Ding. Congratulations on opening the bronze treasure chest. Boom. A dull mechanical snap echoed, and the bronze chest lid flew wide open. Wu Feng didn't pause to read the system loot notification, roaring immediately. We've got the loot. Retreat now. Meanwhile, the unicorn merlion flew into a violent rage after seeing its water arrow blocked by a mere earthen wall. It let out a deafening roar and charged forward recklessly. It closed to 40 meters from Wu Feng when another earthen wall shot up from the ground. The merlion paid it no heed, slashing its sharp claws hard against Sophia's newly raised barrier. A sharp crack split the solid wall into countless fissures. Hurry away. The wall won't hold long. Sophia's face paled pale white. Casting 2 earthen walls back to back in quick succession drained her spirit power severely. Wu Feng sprinted over to grab the pale-looking Sophia, and together with Kyoko, they bolted into the dense woods to the side. Elisa also dropped her lure distraction at once, lifting her own body with telekinesis and darting behind trees to rejoin the main group. After smashing through the earthen wall, the unicorn merlion stared at their fleeing backs, hesitation flickering across its features. It glanced back at its cave, then at the group vanishing deep into the forest. In the end, it seemed wary of some unknown creatures lurking deeper in the woods and chose not to pursue. It roared furiously on the spot several times before turning to trudge back into the cave beneath the boulder. Only once the merlion's roars faded completely did the group stop behind a thick cluster of bushes, gasping for air. Those heart-stopping minutes had left every single person soaked in cold sweat down their backs. They collapsed onto the ground, pulling out water and bread to replenish their stamina and hydration. Phew, that was terrifying. If Sophia's wall had been 1 second slower, Appa Wu Feng would have been skewered, Lin Yunqi said. She still trembled with lingering fear. She panted heavily from the frantic running and shock, her chest rising and falling rapidly. Crystal beads of sweat clinging to her forehead, making her look utterly endearing. Wu Feng wiped sweat from his forehead and forced a bitter smile. Yeah, that boss's attacks are far beyond what we can tank right now. Thank goodness Sophia reacted fast, or we would have wiped this run. Sophia smiled weakly from spirit exhaustion. I saw the team channel alert and ran back with Ayako straight away. I barely made it in time. Good. Everyone's safe. That's all that matters. Wu Feng calmed his racing heart, a flicker of excitement lighting up his eyes. And the risk was completely worth it. Our haul is incredible. Wu Feng sent the 5 loot items from the bronze chest to the team channel. Skill book, Water Arrow Black Iron Tier Effect. Condense water elements to fire a high-pressure water arrow, dealing magic damage and knocking targets back. Note, treasure chest and monster drops have a small chance to yield skill books. Merlion Ring Bronze Tier Slot. Accessory required level. LV.5 stats, +6 spirit, +3 stamina special effect. Boost spirit power recovery speed by 10. Fish Scale Armor Bronze Tier Slot. Torso required level. LV.5 stats, +4 vitality, +5 strength 6. 7. Spring Moon Pure Water 2 L times 15 8. 9. Kitchen Seasoning Set times 10. Wow, we actually got a skill book. Lin Yunqi gasped out loud after reading the channel message. Wu Feng picked up the faintly glowing blue skill book, a satisfied smile spreading across his face. Water Arrow, the signature skill of the unicorn merlion they'd just fought. He thought of the sister pair Ella and Mira, who wield Fireball and Ice Arrow, and wondered what devastating combo they could unleash if they combined their elemental attacks. Watching the group chat buzz with excited discussion, Wu Feng checked in with the other 3 squad leaders. Qin Yin replied that her team had gathered wild berries and wild greens, but the woods teemed with too many monsters. Only Ella possessed offensive magic. The rest could barely defend themselves, so they turned back early and were on their way home. Anna's squad had collected 30 units of stone, and Karina had chopped 25 units of lumber. All teams were nearly finished with their daily gathering tasks and required no extra help. After reading their replies, Wu Feng glanced at the time, 16:20. All right, rest period over. Wu Feng stood and looked out at the group. Today's mission was harrowing, but we gained massive rewards. We've obtained a skill book and new gear, and our team coordination has been put to the test and proven solid. We need to stay vigilant moving forward. Far stronger monsters lurk deeper in this forest. That unicorn merlion was clearly the minor boss of this river stretch, and even more dangerous creatures may be nearby. The girls all nodded. After the brutal fight, they trusted Wu Feng's leadership more than ever, and the team's bond had grown stronger through their brush with death. The other squads should be heading back soon too. Let's return as well. We need to upgrade our safe house, or none of us will rest easy tonight, Wu Feng said. Elisa and the other girls stood up one after another, following Wu Feng and Han Xiaoyan along the path home. On the way back, they faced 3 more bush ambushes by level 4 forest black wolves, 1 tree-based surprise attack by level 5 2-headed black snakes, and an assault by red-faced gray monkeys. Thanks to Elisa's versatile telekinesis, she could bind every monster tight with surrounding vines like wrapped dumplings the second combat began. The rest of the group swarmed in to land finishing blows, and every fight ended in under 30 seconds flat. Back at the guardrail of the safe house, everyone had leveled up once. At the entrance, Wu Feng spotted Qin Yan, Su Jiasen, and the other women washing wild fruits in an iron wok as big as a bathing tub. As soon as Wu Feng walked up to the safe house, Qin Yan and Su Jiasen hurried over. seeing dust and blood splattered all over his group's clothes. They asked with concern if anyone had gotten hurt. Wu Feng waved and smiled, saying he was fine. Right then, the nearby bushes rustled apart, and the squad led by Anna and Karina returned one after another. Once everyone had gathered, Wu Feng wasted no time and called the whole team to tally up supplies. After sorting through their haul, the 30 units of timber and 30 units of stone collected today were more than enough to cover the upgrade cost. Staring at the safe house stats panel showing sufficient materials, Wu Feng felt a surge of relief. We've got all the supplies we need. Everyone step outside. We're upgrading the safe house now. The group retreated to the open clearing. Wu Feng focused his mind and tapped the upgrade button. 10 units of timber and 10 units of stone vanished from his backpack in streaks of glowing light, merging into the drafty, leaky wooden cabin before them. A soft yet powerful blanket of white light wrapped the building. The rickety, rotting planks rapidly rearranged and reinforced themselves within the glow. In barely a dozen seconds, the radiance faded away. The original 20 by 20 meter plot instantly expanded to 30 by 30 meters. A brand new, sturdy, spacious wooden cabin stood before their eyes. The cramped space had opened up completely. Thick timber walls, a robust roof, and a foundation transformed from shabby planks to smooth stone slabs filled everyone with a strong sense of security. Note: after upgrading, the cabin measures 15 long times 15 wide times 5 tall. Each upgrade adds 5 meters to each side of the floor area. Next, Wu Feng turned his gaze to the flimsy branch guardrail only 70 centimeters tall surrounding the perimeter. He spent another 10 units of timber and 3 units of iron stored in the storage crate to upgrade the fence. The iron chunks melted into tough metal frames that fused seamlessly with the wood. The low barrier shot upward like bamboo after spring rains, growing taller and strengthening in the blink of an eye. A brand new 1.5-meter tall fence fully enclosed the safe house. Sturdy wooden slats inlaid with iron bars glinted coldly beneath the sunlight. Staring at the renovated safe house and its impregnable guardrail, the women's eyes lit up with delight and reassurance. In this danger-ridden forest, this was far more than a simple upgrade. It was their greatest survival guarantee for the night. Wu Feng patted the brand new fence and let out a long breath. "We finished almost everything we can. Let's hope we make it safely through tonight's threats." Wu Feng noticed that after the guardrail upgrade, the crude lattice outer door cobbled together from branches stuck out like a sore thumb. Without hesitation, he spent 1 unit of timber to upgrade it. Sawdust swirled through the air, and the ramshackle branch door morphed into a thick solid wooden door, 2 meters high, 1.5 meters wide, and 4 centimeters deep, fitted perfectly into its frame. Once all upgrades were complete, Wu Feng opened the Safe House information panel to check the updated stats. Safe House information level: 2 Safe House boundary area, 30 times 30 within guardrail safety index. 13 status: secure, valid for 7 days. Next upgrade requirement: 20 timber units, 20 stone units. Evaluation: small monsters will have a tough time prying open this metal can. The women pushed open the new wooden door cheerfully and stepped inside, marveling at how spacious the cabin had become. Wu Feng lingered outside, his brows furrowed. Even though the door was thicker now, it was still just ordinary wood, leaving him uneasy. Eliza, who had not followed the others indoors, noticed his odd mood. She walked to his side and asked in confusion, "Wu Feng, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with this wooden door, or are you worried about something?" "I still think this wooden door is too flimsy to keep us safe." Wu Feng stroked the rough planks, resolve flickering across his face. "I plan to spend my last 2 enhancement points of the day entirely on reinforcing this door." With that, he stepped forward, pressed his palm flat against the door, and mentally activated the enhancement function. Ding! Tier 2 wooden door enhancement options. 1 enhancement point, 40 chance to gain an affix or skill. 2 enhancement points, 70 chance to gain an affix or skill. 3 enhancement points, 90 chance to gain 1 affix/skill. 50 chance to unlock a second affix/skill node. If no affix or skill is obtained, basic reinforcement stats will be applied instead. Glancing at the 3-point option with its high success rate, Wu Feng hovered his finger mid-air, hesitating. Part of him wanted to save the points for tomorrow's upgrades. But then he thought, the forest after dark was crawling with threats. What good would save points do if they couldn't survive the night? Having made up his mind, he tapped the second option without further delay. Ding! Tier 2 wooden door acquired affix. Sturdy. Great luck! Wu Feng rejoiced and quickly pulled up the door's detailed stats. Name: Tier 2 wooden door. Quality: black iron. Durability: 130/130. It's reparable with timber, Defense, 26, affix, sturdy, boosts defense by 30 and durability by 30. Flavor text. Ugh, this wood's rock hard. A forest wolf that cracked its fangs trying to break in. A faint smile tugged at Wu Feng's lips reading the humorous flavor text. Its defense had skyrocketed to 26, and durability hit 130, more than solid enough for their current stage. He patted the reinforced door one last time. Its heavy, substantial weight chased away the last of his anxiety. He turned and nodded at Eliza. Let's head inside. We should be safe through the night. The two walked into the cabin one after the other. The space was far roomier than before, with wooden windows set into each thick timber wall. A stone stove stood at the far left end, and a simple partitioned wooden toilet sat opposite it. The group sat chatting in the center of the spacious new floor. The once empty, cold cabin felt warm and lively, filled with their laughter. Wu Feng stepped before them and clapped his hands to grab their attention. It's getting late. Set aside all materials and food ingredients. Then bring out all unneeded loot from today to divide quickly. After that, we'll make dinner. Wu Feng focused his mind and emptied all the loot dropped from treasure chests and minor monsters they'd slain along the way onto the cabin floor. Karina and Ivanka stepped forward in unison, placing their unused equipment into the pile as well. Wu Feng stepped forward and picked up the glowing skill book water arrow, instantly drawing every woman's gaze. I don't need to tell any of you how rare this skill book is. Wu Feng waved the book with a playful grin. We'll start an auction, starting bid, 1 kiss. Every woman shot her hand up at once, filling the room with excitement. When Madeline from the French faction shouted 20 long, deep kisses, the normally quiet Liang Xian lost her head and shot to her feet, yelling loudly, 1 whole night. Silence crashed over the room. Everyone twisted around to stare at Liang Xian in shock. Wu Feng raised an eyebrow in surprise, then sighed and smiled. All right, enough teasing. If I just hand the book to one person, it'll stir up conflict. All of you who don't have skills step forward. Rock, paper, scissors. Winner takes it. Truth be told, Wu Feng wanted the book for himself, but prioritizing the team's overall strength, he decided to give it to a teammate without any combat skills. Besides, the enhancement points would reset at 9 tomorrow morning after midnight hit. He planned to reinforce his hands then. He was confident he'd unlock a skill affix sooner or later. After several intense rounds of rock, paper, scissors, Liang Xian came out victorious. The other women watching never imagined the bold, carefree girl would have such incredible luck. Wu Feng was equally taken aback. Liang Xian had struck lucky today. The remaining items were distributed next, split based on each member's contribution and class needs. Wu Feng, who'd contributed the most, claimed the fish scale armor. Eliza received the lionfish ring. Sophia took the basic staff, and the remaining 5 white tier pieces of gear went to whoever needed them most right now. Once distribution wrapped up, leftover supplies including the uncraftable black iron thorn gate blueprint, wolf fangs, and beast hides were stowed in the 100-slot shared storage crate. Wu Feng sorted through his backpack, keeping hold of the fish scale armor, 2 2-liter bottles of purified water, 5 can luncheon meats, and 3 bottles of liquor. Eliza's squad had an excellent haul today, catching nearly 100 fish, far too many to bring all inside. They set aside 6 to cook for dinner. Meanwhile, Qin Yan's group laid out wild vegetables and berries they'd foraged outside on the table. Su Jiesin had crafted 2 large round tables and 30 chairs with her crafting skill, using 2 stone units and 2 timber units each from Karina and Anna. The leftover materials were turned into over 20 stone plates, 30 wooden bowls, wooden spoons, and chopsticks. Watching the women bustling about preparing food, Wu Feng thought to himself thankfully, none of the team were spoiled, pampered princess types. Curious about how other survivors were faring, he opened the regional chat channel. Regional Channel Zone 999, there are 10,000 zones across Blue Star, each holding over 600,000 survivors, with roughly 10,000 safe houses total. Hey punk upstairs, dare to post your coordinates? Watch me bring a crew to hunt you down. Listen up everyone, I am the King of India. Send me 10 iron units if you see this message, and I'll name you a general once we return home. Note, all countries mentioned in this story are fictional and unrelated to real-world nations. Dummy above, I'm the ruler of the entire world. Send me 10 iron units. I'll make you planet leader. Any kind brother, spare a few timber units? I'll trade nude photos, sending current pictures now. Ugh, don't disgust me with that garbage. Dad, it's me Kuan. Where are you? Son, I'm right here. Son, I'm right here. Son, I'm right here. The channel flooded with meaningless spam without a single useful piece of intel. Wu Feng could not even muster the energy to complain, trapped in a survival alien world. and these people still wasted time fooling around in chat. None of these people have any sense of crisis, chatting non-stop on the channel. I wonder how they'll survive tonight, Wu Feng muttered in frustration. The women sitting beside him giggled and crowded closer after hearing his remark. Feng Kuan, why bother worrying about them? Just treat it like an entertainment show. I'm having fun reading it. Kitagawa Apricot pouted. Han Chaiyong, lying on the floor nearby, chimed in teasingly. Apricot's right. Appa Wu Feng, you're not planet leader, so who cares if they live through tonight or not? I only wanted to gather information about other areas. I couldn't care less whether the strangers in chat live or die. Wu Feng shrugged helplessly. He stood and glanced over, spotting Alina and Karina viewing the marketplace crystal projection. He wandered over to peek, shocked to see one iron unit cost 7 timber units. Before he could study the prices further, Qin Yin called everyone to dinner. The group gathered around the twin tables laden with 8 dishes: braised wolf meat, chopped chili fish head, steamed fish belly, stir-fried wild greens, wild green vegetable fishtail soup, deep-fried fish fillets, braised fish chunks, and a fresh wild fruit platter for dessert. Everyone's appetites spiked instantly, and they took their seats. The women had eaten politely at first, but watching Wu Feng wolf down large mouthfuls of meat and soup, they tossed aside their ladylike manners and dug in heartily. By the time dinner finished, twilight had swallowed the sky, and the silence of their first night in the forest began to settle. None of the people inside the cabin noticed a strange dark figure standing at the treeline outside. Its sickly lime-green eyes glowed eerily like 2 cold ghost flames, fixed unblinkingly on the wooden cabin as if waiting for full nightfall. The system clock ticked exactly to 1800 hours. Outside, the last streak of sunset light vanished into darkness as the sun set on schedule. Rustling footsteps echoed from the quiet woods, countless paws scraping across dead fallen leaves. Wu Feng turned back to the cabin, where the women sat huddled around the fire pit warming themselves, scrolling the regional chat and chatting. He walked over and lay down beside Ivanka. Only then did he notice Eliza had changed out of her default system uniform back into her original clothes. She wore a soft white button-up shirt. Her lazy recline stretched the fabric tight over her curves, the collar slightly unbuttoned to exude casual charm. Below, a tight pencil skirt paired with black sheer stockings, her long straight legs crossed, toes tapping lightly in good spirits, radiating the allure of a mature woman. Eliza felt his gaze fixed on her, exited the regional chat window, and sat up with a teasing smile. What are you staring at? Do you think my legs look nice? Caught red-handed, Wu Feng put on a dead serious face and made up an excuse. I was noticing how well made and smooth these stockings are. I was wondering where I could get a pair to buy for my girlfriend. Puffed. Liang Zian, Lin Shanshan, and the others burst out laughing at his lie from across the room. Liang Zian teased him between giggles. Wu Feng, since when have you had a girlfriend? None of us knew a thing about her. Spill the details, little Feng. Liang Zian, don't talk nonsense. Wu Feng shot her a stern glare. Don't you remember last week I picked Wang Yan up downstairs in a sports car with flowers? Lin Shanshan stood up to join the ribbing, grinning. Wasn't that sports car Lu Guo's? And Wang Yan's his girlfriend, not yours. You've got it wrong, Shanshan. Liang Zian cut in, doubled over laughing. Little Feng just dropped her off at Lu Guo's hotel room door and eavesdropped outside. That still counts as spending time with her. Doesn't that make her half his girlfriend? As the two teamed up to expose his bluff, Wu Feng lost the mood to admire the stockings. He shook his head helplessly and walked to the window to calm down. He leaned against the windowsill and looked up at the sky. The moon glowed an unsettling pale crimson, scarlet light spilling over the forest and coating every tree in a terrifying blood-red hue. Suddenly, a long, deafening wolf howl echoed deep in the woods behind the safe house. A woo. One after another, answering howls erupted from every direction of the forest. Qin Yin walked to the window and stood beside him. You weren't watching the channel earlier. Lots of survivors said monster howls are ringing out all around them. Tonight's definitely not going to be peaceful. Wu Feng did not reply right away. His eyes locked rigidly on a tall tree in the distance. A strange humanoid creature stood beneath its trunk, appearing out of nowhere. A cold chill shot straight up his spine, and cold sweat soaked his back in an instant. At first glance, the thing barely looked human. Beneath the blood moon, sharp clawed hands glinted, its legs slightly bent in a half-crouch, long pointed ears sprouting from its head, and an oval-shaped object hanging around its neck. It stood completely motionless, staring straight at the safe house. Shoo, don't make a sound. Wu Feng's throat tightened, his voice barely a strained whisper squeezed through his teeth. He instinctively held Qin Yin back before she could speak another word, his other hand gripping his weapon tight. Qin Yin followed his horrified line of sight, and her face blanched pale in an instant. "Shut all the windows now," Wu Feng hissed, pushing Qin Yin back inside and sliding the window bolt shut fast. Laughter and chatter inside the cabin cut off instantly. Before Eliza and the others could process what had happened, they watched Wu Feng and Qin Yin draw the curtains and bolt every door and window, immediately realizing grave danger loomed outside. "What's going on, Wu Feng?" Ivanka scrambled hastily to her feet. Her rushed movement rumpled her white shirt, the collar slipping open to reveal a flash of pale skin, yet she paid no mind to fixing her appearance, terror filling her eyes at the unknown threat. "Monsters! A humanoid beast is standing under the tree out front," Wu Feng said grimly. The words barely left his mouth when a thunderous crash slammed against the Tier 2 wooden guardrail door. Bang! Next came the shrill, teeth-grating scrape of claws raking wood. The group crowded to the window slits, and by the eerie crimson moonlight they finally laid eyes on their attacker, a bipedal two-headed wolfman. Lin Yunqi immediately activated Inside Eyes to check its stats. Two-headed demon wolf bronze elite monster species. Magical beast level. For HP, 100 skills. Twin wolf howl, claw smash, bloodthirsty berserk weak points. Joints connecting the two heads to the neck. Waste flavor text. A man-eating wolf beast starved by hunger, drawn by the scent of blood and living flesh. Lin Yunqi shared the stat panel to the team chat, and gasps rippled through every woman present. Wu Feng frowned. How can a level 4 two-headed demon wolf have stats comparable to a level 8 one-horned merlion king? That's ridiculously overpowered. At that moment, Eliza analyzed calmly. The one-horned merlion king fought us in river terrain, which limited our ability to leverage the landscape. This time the battle is right outside our doorstep. We can use the Tier 2 wooden gate as cover. Paired with Charlotte's aura spell, we stand a real chance of defeating it. Wu Feng nodded in agreement. That's a solid plan. We'll retreat behind the Tier 2 gate the second things turn dangerous. Also, we don't need too many people venturing out. Our ranged fighters can hold position by the railings. A larger group would only create chaos. All things considered, we can take down this two-headed demon wolf. Not only that, this will likely be the world's first bronze boss to be slain. The rewards have to be extraordinary. This risk is well worth taking, Karina added. Spurred by Karina's words, the women who'd previously felt fearful suddenly burned with eagerness, cracking their knuckles to prepare for battle. After a few minutes of quick discussion, they finalized an 11-person combat roster. Wu Feng, Ivanka, Charlotte, Karina, Sophia, Isabel, Liang Zian, the two Kitagawa sisters, and the two Ella sisters. The group quickly moved behind the Tier 2 wooden gate. Even through the thick planks, they could clearly feel the savage impact of the two-headed demon wolf slamming against the wood outside. Suddenly, the commotion beyond the gate went silent. It's backing up to charge again. Wu Feng snapped a low warning. He watched the two-headed demon wolf retreat roughly 10 meters past the railings before surging forward with explosive speed, hurtling toward the gate like an artillery shell. The instant it was about to collide with the wood, Sophia waved her staff, and an earthen wall shot up out of the ground directly in front of the entrance. Boom! Caught completely off guard, the two-headed demon wolf crashed full force into the earthen barrier. Cracks spiderwebbed across the wall in an instant. The wolf's primary head spun dizzyingly from the blow, and its secondary neck head was stunned stiff as well. Around 20% of its health bar vanished on the spot, and it staggered unsteadily as it scrambled back to its feet. Now's our chance. Seeing this perfect opening, the group did not hesitate. Wu Feng charged forward first, the rest hot on his heels, leaping out through the gap in the earthen wall. At the same time, Kyoko Kitagawa, the Ella sisters, and Liang Zian unleashed ranged assaults from the side railings. Kyoko Kitagawa moved with lightning-fast footwork, reaching the demon wolf first. She unleashed her skill-shadowless swift swordsmanship, her longsword blurring into a flurry of afterimages as she stabbed 6 times in quick succession at the junction between the wolf's two necks before pushing off to leap backward. Right behind her, Karina shifted into her dragonkin form and slammed a crushing dragon claw strike hard into the wolf's midsection. Wu Feng wasted no time either. Striking while the wolf stumbled to regain balance, he hacked twice at its chest before using the recoil to dart back out of range. After this concentrated volley of attacks, the two-headed demon wolf shook its head to clear its daze. Its health bar dropped to roughly 67. Both heads split open in bloodthirsty roars rumbling up from their throats, preparing to unleash a skill. The second their jaws gaped wide, an ice arrow, Fireball, water arrow, and steel bolt whistled forth nearly simultaneously, slamming straight down both open maws. Gravely wounded, the wolf stumbled backwards several paces, clutching its dual heads in agony. Now, Eliza raised both hands high and activated her psychokinesis. More than a dozen massive boulders floating into the air crashed down hard onto the wolf, pinning it immobile beneath the rock pile. Shortly after, Karina, hovering 10 meters above the ground, drew in a deep breath, her chest swelling wide. Over 5 seconds of channeling, an intensely compressed, blazing dark red fireball coalesced before her mouth. The surrounding air warped violently from its terrifying heat. Boom! 5 seconds later, a basin-sized dragon flame fireball trailing a long plume of fire streaked downward like a meteor, slamming straight into the mound of boulders. There was no crisp shattering sound, only a bone-rattling, dull thunderclap. Violent dragon fire swallowed the entire rock pile at once. The unyielding stone began to glint faintly as if melting under the extreme heat, then was ripped apart by a devastating shockwave, scattering countless jagged rock fragments that rained down like hail. Rumble boom. The deafening blast carved a smoldering dark red crater straight into the ground. The team had already retreated behind the Tier 2 wooden gate the moment Karina unleashed the fireball, yet even from safety, the searing heat wave washed over them, scorching their skin. Wu Feng winced as he checked the structure stats. The Tier 2 gate's durability plummeted by 41 points in an instant. The wolf's 5 minutes of ramming had only chipped 7 points of durability. Flying debris from the explosion alone cost 34. Still, he pushed the worry aside. If they secured the world's first kill, every bit of damage would be justified. Several minutes passed before the acrid stench of burnt flesh and thick smoke began to fade. The group cautiously pushed open the gate and peered out to survey the battlefield. The once flat ground now bore a smoldering dark red crater several meters wide and 1 meter deep. Thin white, smoke hissing up from its depths. Yet the two-headed demon wolf was nowhere to be seen at the blast's epicenter. Watch out! Wu Feng's pupils shrank to pinpricks as he roared a sharp warning. Before his voice faded, a smoke-wreathed blur lunged out from behind a massive boulder. The group drew a collective gasp upon laying eyes on it. The once ferocious two-headed demon wolf was now a pitiful wreck. Its left head had been completely blown away, leaving a charred, mangled, gaping wound oozing raw flesh. Its right arm had been torn clean from its shoulder, blood welling from the severed stump instantly carbonized and sealed shut by the blast's extreme heat. Though only one head remained, its back flayed open to expose bone, an eerie dark red blood aura swirled around its body, blending with residual dragon fire heat clinging to its fur. Lin Yunxi shouted from a distance, "Beware!" The two-headed demon wolf activated its skill Bloodlust Berserk. Fall back behind the gate immediately, but it was already too late. The wolf closed the distance in a heartbeat, its health bar hovering at a mere 10. Turning to run would mean certain death. The group steeled their resolve, hard determination flashing across their eyes. They would fight to the end. They exchanged a quick glance and charged forward as one. The ranged fighters by the railings laid down covering fire, fireballs, ice arrows, water projectiles, and crossbow bolts pouring forth like a storm. The wolf swatted an incoming ice arrow away with its single claw, but could not dodge the fireball hot on its heels. Its chest blistered black under the impact, and successive water arrows and crossbow bolts struck home, sending it staggering backward. Perfect opening. A sharp glint flashed in Wu Feng's eyes. He cast swift step to flash directly in front of the wolf, raising his wolf tooth blade high and hacking hard into the raw neck wound where the second head had been torn off. The strike nearly depleted the wolf's remaining health, but its eyes blazed an even deeper crimson. Empowered by Bloodlust Berserk, its speed spiked drastically. Its single claw swept forward in a gory arc aimed straight for Wu Feng. The others watched in panic. Wu Feng's swing had exhausted his momentum, leaving no time to pull his blade back from point-blank range. Facing the incoming fatal slash, he gritted his teeth and rolled low to the ground mid-retreat, narrowly dodging the strike. But the wolf's speed was unmatched. The razor-sharp claw tip grazed his shoulder, drawing a spray of blood and sending his body flying backward. The two-headed demon wolf spotted Wu Feng crumpled 10 meters away and charged straight for him, its black claw raised to strike again. At this critical life-or-death moment, the ground beneath the wolf suddenly bulged upward. An earthen wall erupted to hurl it several meters into the air. Simultaneously, Wu Feng felt his body grow weightless as a gentle, invisible force lifted him and carried him safely backward. The group turned to see Eliza. drained of immense mental energy, being supported by Sophia as she stepped out from behind the gate. Her face ashen and breath ragged, Eliza spoke. Thankfully, I recovered enough mental power for Sophia to help me check the battle. Half a second later, and Wu Feng would have been done for. Wu Feng landed and wiped cold sweat from his face, still shaken. I thought it had taken too much damage to counterattack. I rushed in to finish it fast with low health, never expecting it could unleash such a burst of power. Qin Yin called out anxiously from afar. Thank goodness you're unhurt. Everyone look, the wolf's not dead yet. They realized the system victory announcement had not sounded. Wu Feng shouted to the Ellis sisters and the other ranged fighters by the railings. Don't stop firing. Keep attacking until we get the system alert. The four women did not slacken, launching another wave of assaults at the wolf's broken body sprawled 10 meters away. As the flames faded, a crisp system chime finally rang out. Ding. Congratulations to your party for slaying the level 4 bronze elite monster two-headed demon wolf. You gained 30 EXP. Ding. Global announcement. Congratulations to player ID 9394 in District 999 for the world's first bronze boss kill on two-headed demon wolf. Achievement world's first slay unlocked. System rewards granted. 1x silver treasure chest. All party members receive exclusive title emerging talent when equipped. All stats +5. 10 increased damage against beast-type monsters. The moment they read the global announcement and reward list, the women burst into joyful tears and embraced one another tightly. Risk and reward truly went hand in hand. While they celebrated, the district chat channel had already erupted into chaos. District 999 chat channel. Is this person cheating? 10 of us struggled just to take down a regular forest wolf, and someone's already slain a bronze boss? If you can't handle a forest wolf with 10 people, don't complain. Might as well walk straight into the wolf's jaws yourself. At player ID 9394, please hand over the silver treasure chest as a contribution to the collective. Once we return to our original world, the organization will award you an outstanding contributor medal. So many idiots in this world. Let's talk about surviving first before dreaming of going back. You're the fool barking without even owning a silver chest. How do you know we can't return if no one contributes? If I had one, I'd hand over it without hesitation. Anyone got the coordinates for ID 9394? Let's team up and seize that silver treasure chest. Friend from ID 9394, I'll pay a premium price for your silver chest. Add me as a friend to negotiate details if you see this message. Mom, it's Kai Kai. Where are you? Sai. I'm here, baby. Sai, I'm here. Sai, I'm here. Ignoring the noisy chat channel, the group retreated inside the cabin, flopping down around the dining table. They bit into wild fruits and chugged water greedily to replenish the energy drained in battle. Weary to the bone, they brimmed with exhilaration over their massive haul. Freshly healed by Isabel's restoration spell, Wu Feng chewed a wild fruit shaped like an apple but tasting of pomelo, glancing at the system clock, 21:38. It's getting late. He slapped his thigh, resolving to split the loot immediately before assigning night watch shifts. Thinking of the silver treasure chest resting quietly in his inventory, his heart thumped wildly with excitement. Wu Feng stood from his chair and clapped his hands to gather attention. It's well past nightfall, and we still need to assign sentry duty. Gather in the center, and we'll divide tonight's spoils. The women rose and crowded into the middle of the cabin, eyes sparkling with anticipation. Wu Feng summoned the 3 items dropped by the two-headed demon wolf and laid them out on the floor. Item name: Bloodthirst Wolf Blade Silver Tier Note. Exclusive drop from the world's first kill, will not drop from subsequent defeats. Equipment slot: Weapon level requirement: 5 stats, Strength +12, Agility +4 special effect, 5 chance to restore 2 HP on hit. Item name: Tough Wolfskin Trousers Bronze Tier Equipment slot. Lower body level requirement: 5 stats, Agility +6, Strength +3. Item name: Demon Wolf Helmet Bronze Tier Equipment slot. Head level requirement: 5 stats, Strength +4, Vitality +5. Every gaze locked onto the faintly cold, glinting silver tier weapon, the Bloodthirst Wolf Blade. For physical damage dealers like Wu Feng, Kyoko Kitagawa, and Karina, the blade was impossible to look away from, drawing them like a magnet. Stat-wise, it suited explosive damage dealer Karina or fast attack specialist Kyoko Kitagawa best. But the two women exchanged a glance, recalling how Wu Feng had risked his life for the party, nearly dying alongside the wolf to secure their first kill. They both silently chose to pass the blade to him. Give this sword to Wu Feng, Karina spoke first. If he hadn't held the line under pressure, we never would have pulled off this world first kill. Kyoko Kitagawa nodded in full agreement. With the two main contenders stepping aside, no one else raised objections. Distributing the remaining gear went smoothly. Kyoko Kitagawa claimed the tough wolfskin trousers, and Karina donned the demon wolf helmet. Though younger sister Kyoko Kitagawa could also wear the trousers, she graciously yielded them to her elder sister. Wu Feng gripped the one-of-a-kind silver-tier weapon in his hand, feeling the cool hilt beneath his palms, warmth swelling in his chest. Once all equipment was allocated, he took a deep breath and pulled out the silver treasure chest rewarded by the global announcement. Silvery light shimmered mysteriously across the chest beneath the cabin lamps, capturing every woman's gaze. Wu Feng wasted no time building suspense and rested his palm on the chest lid. Unlocking silver treasure chest, progress, 1, 10, 15, estimated remaining time, 20 seconds. Warning, unlocking progress will be interrupted if attacked during the process. Ensure the surrounding area is secure. When the progress bar filled completely, the chest lid popped open with a soft click, and soft silver radiance flooded the entire wooden cabin. Ding! You have opened the silver treasure chest. Obtained 1x Crescent Moon Staff Silver Tier, 1x Silver Bracelet Silver Tier, 1x Sturdy Stone Wall Blueprint Bronze Tier, 20x Packaged Chicken 5 kilograms each, 1x Water Storage Gourd Special Item. Wu Feng shared the full loot list in the party chat, sparking waves of elation among the group. The silver treasure chest truly delivered extraordinary rewards. Item name, Crescent Moon Staff Silver Tier, Equipment Slot. Weapon, Level Requirement, 5. Stats, Spirit plus 13, Agility plus 5. Special Effect, 10 chance to restore 3 Spirit Power upon casting a skill. Item name, Silver Bracelet Silver Tier, Equipment Slot. Accessory, Level Requirement, 5. Stats, Strength plus 5, Agility plus 10. Special Effect 1. Boost Stamina Recovery Speed by 20. Special Effect 2. 10 chance to negate 50 of incoming damage when struck. Sturdy Stone Wall Blueprint Bronze Tier. Building Type. Defensive Wall. Required Materials. 15 stone units. Hardened Trait. Raises defense and durability by 20. Water Storage Gourd Special Item. Category. Storage Utility. Capacity. 5 liters. Function. Absorbs and purifies ambient water vapor. Automatically collects 1 to 5 liters of clean water every 12 hours. Stops once full at 5 liters. The group gasped at the water storage gourd. Though a river ran nearby, all feared the deadly monsters lurking within and questioned the water's purity. Even boiled river water was only fit for washing and cleaning, tainted by lingering dread. This gourd that produced endless purified water solved one of their most pressing survival crises. Next came the turn to assign the Crescent Moon Staff. The party's mage twins, the Ellis sisters, alongside Sophia, exchanged competitive, sharp-eyed glances. Wu Feng watched the tense standoff and laughed helplessly. Ladies, let's stick to our usual rule, rock, paper, scissors to settle this. In an instant, all the women stepped forward to the center at once. Even Anna, who practiced divination, and Qin Yan, who wielded purification magic, joined the scramble. After several fierce rounds of competition, Isabel, the healer who'd barely said a word all day, walked away as the final winner. As for the top-tier stat silver bracelet, Wu Feng already owned the bloodthirsty wolf blade, so he voluntarily withdrew from the contest. In the end, Kitagawa and Zhu won the bracelet purely by luck. Right then, Su Jiasen suddenly stared at the regional chat channel, her face tight with anxiety. Everyone, look at the channel. Scores of people are searching for us, demanding we hand over the silver treasure chest. Some are even shouting to team up and storm our safe house to rob it. After skimming the messages, Liang Zian spat angrily. Pa, do they think this silver chest just fell out of thin air? They want something for nothing and think a few empty words will get it. Exactly. Do these people still think we're living by the rules of our old world? Lin Shanshan gritted her teeth. They're spouting nonsense like hand over the chest and we'll name you a general. We'll award you a medal. I'll pay 100 million. And some even threaten to hunt us down once we return to our original world. They're utterly shameless. Wu Feng quickly read through all the posts, his expression darkening. The tide is turning. You never know what's going on in another person's heart. Without societal rules to restrain them, it's only been one day, yet most people have revealed their greedy true natures. Eliza fretted. We should leave some people behind to guard the safe house. Better safe than sorry. We can't let looters fixate on our base. Wu Feng made a split-second decision. We adjust our strategy starting now. Only 3 squads may head out to gather resources each day. The remaining 2 stay behind to defend the safe house. We'll only cut wood within sight of the cabin, no wandering far. The group quickly sorted out guard shifts and night watch duty. The core members who led daily expeditions, Wu Feng, Karina, Eliza, the Kitagawa sisters, and Sophia, were exempt from overnight sentry duty. The other 24 survivors split into 2 teams, taking turns every single night. 12 people stood watch after dark, split into 4 groups of 3, each manning their post for 3 hours from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning. Once all arrangements were settled, Wu Feng glanced at the system display. The temperature stood at 18 degrees Celsius, and the time read 10:35 p.m. He grabbed a coat and lay down on the stone floor beneath the stone table. Realizing he'd hit level 5 that evening, but hadn't allocated his stat points yet, he opened his personal status panel. Personal status panel. Name, Wu Feng. Gender, male. Age, 20. Title, budding talent, all stats +5. Beast type, monster damage +10. Innate skills. Mythic tier amplification enhancement cannot be upgraded. Golden tier swiftness. Region 999. Safe house owner no. 9394. Equipment. Bloodthirsty wolf blade silver tier. Fish scale armor black iron tier. Level 4. Condition. Healthy. HP 100. Spirit power 109. Vitality 113. Stamina 23 + 9. Strength 40 + 22. Spirit 19 + 5. Endurance 19 + 5. Agility 23 + 9. Unallocated stat points 0. EXP to next level 77. Character evaluation. You possess strength comparable to an ant's many times over, absolutely terrifying to monsters. Wu Feng secretly rejoiced at his towering 40 strength stat. If he ran into another forest black wolf tomorrow, he could likely slay it single-handedly without anyone's aid. He twitched his lips at the system's snarky evaluation, too tired to even fire back a retort. Outside, a brutal survival game unfolded across the wilderness. Countless safe house gates teetered on the brink of collapse amid monstrous howls. Inside this perfectly secure shelter, a crushing wave of drowsiness washed over Wu Feng. He loosely pulled his coat around himself, settled into a comfortable position, and drifted into a deep sleep. Sunlight seeped through the cracks in the wooden windows and spilled across the floor at dawn. Wu Feng sat up groggily, rubbing his eyes to see Qin Yan already busy at the stove with several girls, preparing breakfast. The rest of the survivors stirred awake one after another. Wu Feng stretched, a fleeting thought crossing his mind. What if all this was just a nightmare, and I'd wake up back in my original world? But when his gaze swept the room and caught the women donning the uniform outfits issued by the system, he cast the thought aside entirely. A nightmare. This good was one he never wanted to wake from. Just then, Kitagawa and Zhu finished changing into a crisp system uniform and suddenly felt a scorching gaze fixed on her. She twisted around to find Wu Feng staring straight at her without a hint of shame. Flustered and embarrassed, her cheeks flushed bright red as she pouted. Feng Kuan, stop staring. Turn your head away at once. The other women, who'd been sorting their clothes, froze mid-motion before all turning to glare at Wu Feng. The next second, the room erupted in indignant squeals and protests. Helpless, Wu Feng flopped back down, rolled over, and clamped his hands tight over his ears. 10 minutes later, at the breakfast table, several girls still shot him sharp, unamused glares. Qin Yan set down her bowl and chided him like a disappointed teacher. Wu Feng, really? Everyone's changing clothes. Could you not act like a gentleman and look away or close your eyes? What did I teach you back at school? I was mapping out our expedition strategy. My line of sight just drifted over by accident. Wu Feng argued unrepentantly. Besides, we all live under one roof. All sorts of unexpected situations will crop up going forward. We ought to build up our self-control ahead of time. He lowered his voice to mutter, thinking no one would hear. And Teacher Qin, didn't you tell us in art class to learn to appreciate beauty all around us? I was merely admiring everyone's overall bearing in these uniforms with an artistic eye. Why must you misinterpret me with such vulgar thoughts? Though he'd meant to speak quietly, everyone at the table heard every word clear as day. Qin Yan's face turned livid, her chopsticks trembling slightly in her grasp. Seeing his shameless grin, the group burst out laughing, and the girl's lingering anger melted away almost completely. Noticing Qin Yan's trembling hands, Wu Feng quickly held both hands up in surrender, grinning playfully to shift the topic. All right, Teacher Qin, calm your anger. To make amends, I'll wash every single dish this morning myself. After their light-hearted squabble, the mood lightened again. Once everyone finished eating, they opened the regional chat channel to catch up on what had transpired outside overnight. Region 999 chat channel. Last night was horrific. Monsters slammed against the gate every 2 hours nonstop. If we hadn't stockpiled enough lumber for repairs, our wooden door would have been smashed to splinters. Tell me about it. Thankfully, we upgraded our outer gate and railings. We barely held out until 5 a.m. when the monster assaults finally stopped. Hee, we got lucky. Only 3 waves of 3 forest black wolves showed up overnight. Once we killed them, everything went quiet. Total bliss. Begging all brothers and sisters, does anyone have spare food to share? We traded all our provisions for lumber yesterday. We don't have a single bite left, Noah. TSK, what a poor darling. If you're out of food, come join our loving hunk squad. We've got milk and ham sausages, and all stranded survivors are welcome to join us. Where's Kuan? It's your dad speaking. Wu Feng skimmed the posts, his brows drawing together deeper and deeper. The channel's total member count hovered at just over 590,000, down a full 5,000 from the previous day. That meant nearly 200 safe houses had been breached by monsters overnight, and their inhabitants were most likely dead. Last night was far deadlier than we thought. Wu Feng closed the chat channel and glanced at the reinforced Tier 2 wooden gate. It had endured blows from the 2-headed magic wolf, shockwaves from explosions, and 3 separate monster waves overnight. Its durability had dropped to only 78 points remaining. Satisfied that their immediate surroundings were temporarily safe, Wu Feng focused his mind to pull up his skill panel. He'd gained another 10 amplification enhancement points that morning, and he decided to play it safe by first boosting his hands. He fixed his gaze on his hands and chose to spend 5 enhancement points. 100 chance to unlock 1 stat modifier, 80 chance for a second, 30 chance for a third. Ding. Hand amplification enhancement complete. 2 modifiers obtained. 1. Grip of strength, plus 1 strength per level up. 2. Golden tier skill, Gale Slash. Gale Slash Golden tier. Channel wind elemental power through your weapon to unleash a fan-shaped slash 20 meters forward, dealing massive physical damage plus minor magical damage. Cost, 10 spirit power, 10 vitality. Channel time, 5 seconds. Cooldown, 2 minutes. Wu Feng nodded contentedly at his new modifiers and skill. Grip of Strength was a scaling modifier with immense late-game potential, while Gale Slash perfectly filled his lack of long-distance offensive options. 5 enhancement points still remained. Hoping to get lucky, he spent 3 to amplify his torso for a body modifier. Unluckily, even luck itself abandoned him, and he only unlocked 1 modifier. Physique frame plus 1 stamina per level up. Wu Feng nearly cried in frustration. Give my points back. I'm done gambling. Once he'd calmed down, he turned to Anna, who was still scrolling the regional chat. Anna, could you cast divination to predict our fortunes today and tell us which direction we should head? Anna nodded and activated her divination skill. Moments later, she sent the prophecy results to their team channel. Prophecy result. Minor ominous sign. 1.2 kilometers north-south of the cabin sits a small pond. Beneath the roots of an old locust tree beside the pond lies a black iron treasure chest. Warning, beware the poisoned purple frogmen lurking within the pond. Note, avoid minor nuisances along the path. Prophecy result. Minor auspicious sign. 900 meters northwest of the cabin, at the foot of a small hillside, lies a cave holding a black iron treasure chest. Warning, a giant red bear king and 2 regular red bears are resting near the chest. Note, avoid minor nuisances along the path. After reading the 2 predictions, Wu Feng made a quick decision. Eliza, you lead the squad to location 2, Wu Feng said, pointing at the system map. The giant red bear king is powerful, but the prophecy states they're likely asleep. If we move cautiously, we can grab the chest without fighting. Take Kitagawa Kyoko, Charlotte, Sophia, Amelia, and Anna as backup just in case. Understood, Eliza nodded. I'll head to location 1, Wu Feng said gravely. The poison purple frogmen carry lethal venom, so we'll bring Teacher Qin with her purification magic. Lin Yunxi, Ella and Mira, and Isabel, you're coming with me. What about me? Karina asked, eager to join the expedition. You lead a squad to gather stone near the safe house, Wu Feng assigned. We need materials to build our stone walls today. Lilia, Han Xian, Liang Zian, Victoria, and Kitagawa Yanzu. 6 of you total, stick close and don't wander far. The rest of you stay near the cabin to cut lumber and stay vigilant. Send word back to the cabin and alert Karina at once if anything happens. Assign 1 person to monitor the trading post. Buy cheap, practical supplies when you spot them, and bring any tough calls to the team channel to discuss. Wu Feng instructed before they set off. The group quickly restocked water and food in their backpacks and equipped their weapons. The wooden gate creaked open slowly, and the three squads filed out one after another into the misty dawn forest. A crisp chill hung over the misty morning forest, and the thick layer of fallen leaves crunched softly beneath their boots. Wu Feng walked at the front to clear the path, with Qin Yin, Lin Yunxi, Ella, Mira, and Isabel trailing behind him. "Keep your voices down and watch your footing," Wu Feng warned in a low voice. When the team reached a thicket roughly 500 meters from the safe house, Wu Feng suddenly halted and held up a hand to signal everyone to stop. He'd caught faint rustling in the bushes ahead, along with the familiar rank stench of wild beasts. Roar! A deep rumble echoed out, and three dark shapes burst from the underbrush to block their path. Three forest black wolves. The wolves spread into a triangular formation, rumbling threateningly in their throats as blood-red eyes locked onto the 6 humans before them. Forest black wolves. Qin Yin gasped instinctively from behind him. Ella and Mira instantly slipped into combat stances. Faint flames flickered across Ella's palms, while frost gathered at Myra's fingertips. Wu Feng glanced at the scan data Lin Yunxi posted to the team channel. The 2 outer wolves were level 4, and the larger one in the center was actually level 5. Still, he was confident he could handle all 3 alone. "Stay calm. This is just a small nuisance." Wu Feng's expression remained calm, a faint, eager grin tugging at his lips. He turned to the women behind him. "Step back and hold your ground. I'll test out my new skill on them." Though worried, the women retreated behind him as told. Lin Yunxi watched Wu Feng nervously, while Ella and Mira flanked either side, channeling magic energy non-stop, ready to unleash spells to back him up at any moment. Wu Feng stepped forward alone, facing down the 3 snarling wolves. Seeing Wu Feng approach unaccompanied and detect no aura that frightened them, the wolves flew into a violent rage. They exchanged a quick glance as if reaching an unspoken agreement, pushed off their hind legs, and pounced toward Wu Feng in a coordinated triangular assault. Perfect timing. Instead of retreating, Wu Feng advanced forward, drawing a deep breath as wind elemental energy swarmed wildly toward the blade in his hand. Skill activated, Gale Slash. In an instant, the surrounding air seemed to drain of wind entirely as invisible gusts surged to converge on Wu Feng's weapon. Howling winds whipped his coat hem wildly, cutting through the air with shrill whistles. The 3 wolves were less than 5 meters away. Their razor-sharp claws would strike Wu Feng in mere seconds. At this critical juncture, Wu Feng swung the bloodthirsty wolf blade hard, unleashing the 5 full seconds of channeled wind power in a single explosive burst. Whoosh! A visible fan-shaped cyan wind blade swept low across the ground with terrifying tearing force. Every bush in its path was sliced clean in half, and a shallow trench was carved into the earth beneath it. The massive fan-shaped slash crashed into the 3 wolves, cutting through them as effortlessly as a blade through tofu. The wolves' mid-leap bodies stiffened abruptly before crashing heavily to the ground. System notification: congratulations. Your party has slain a level 4 forest black wolf. EXP +2. System notification: congratulations. Your party has slain a level 4 forest black wolf. EXP +2. System notification: congratulations. Your party has slain a level 5 forest black wolf. EXP +4. Only after the wind blade's residual gusts faded did clean, uniform slashes slowly materialize across the 3 wolf corpses, fresh blood gushing from the wounds. One-shot kills. Total, absolute one-shot kills. The women standing behind stared wide-eyed, their mouths agape, utterly stunned. Is that Wu Feng's new skill? Qin Yan's mind went blank, unable to believe what she'd just witnessed. She recalled fleeing in panic alongside Ella when they'd run into merely 2 level 2 forest wolves while foraging for food yesterday. And now Wu Feng had wiped out 3 higher-level black wolves with a single strike? Incredible, Isabel whispered, her gaze fixed on Wu Feng's back, filled with newfound admiration and wonder. Wu Feng stared down at the fallen wolves, thoroughly satisfied with Gale Slash. He nodded to himself internally. Though it requires a 5-second channel time, its 20-meter attack range and over 4-meter-wide fan damage area make it perfect for clearing packs of monsters. He turned back to the still shocked women, clapping his hands lightly with an easy smile. Threat neutralized. Stop zoning out and help me harvest the corpses. We still need to hurry to the pond. White glowing orbs appeared above each wolf's body, and Wu Feng stepped forward to grab one. Ding! You have obtained wolf leather boots black iron tier. The boots granted +2 agility. Wu Feng had lacked footwear equipment, so he equipped them immediately, his stat panel instantly gaining 2 extra agility points. Wu Feng's voice pulled the women out of their daze. Qin Yin shot him an amused glare and chided playfully. When did you learn such a devastating skill? You kept it hidden to scare us half to death. The group stepped forward to harvest the wolf carcasses. The tense atmosphere melted away entirely after such a one-sided victory. Their faith in Wu Feng soared, and they marched onward with much lighter steps. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the forest, Eliza's second squad was trekking toward the cave to the northwest. The party, consisting of Kitagawa Kyoko, Charlotte, Sophia, and Anna, had already run into minor troubles along the way. Watch out! A pack of level 3 red-faced gray monkeys. Sophia's warning rang out as several ferocious monkeys leaped across the treetops. Before anyone could react, the ground began to shake, and a level 6 forest two-tailed tiger charged forward with a thunderous roar. The group quickly realized the tiger had been chasing the monkey horde. Spotting the humans blocking its path, the forest two-tailed tiger halted right in front of them, baring its fangs and letting out a menacing snarl. Stay calm. Hold formation, Eliza commanded steadily. Facing the ferocious beast, she narrowed her eyes, and an invisible wave of psychic power surged outward in an instant. Skill activated. Telekinesis, snake-like vines rose up from the trees surrounding the tiger. The beast swiped left and right with its massive claws, tearing through the creeping foliage. Yet one vine still coiled tight around its hind legs. Dozens of thick forest vines then came alive, wrapping its enormous frame and pinning it firmly to the ground like a tightly bound rice dumpling. Now strike. At Eliza's order, the whole squad surged forward. Kitagawa Kyoko's wolf-tooth blade, Charlotte's longsword, and Sophia's earthen wall technique all crashed down onto the monster. Ding! Congratulations, your party has slain a level 6 forest two-tailed tiger. You gain 8 EXP. After harvesting the tiger's corpse, Eliza wiped thin beads of sweat from her forehead and checked the time. 9:40 a.m. We've had decent luck. We only ran into one monster wave this whole trip, and we've made good time. They encountered a few more monster ambushes further along the path, which Eliza and Kitagawa Kyoko handled easily between them. By the time they reached their destination, every member except Kitagawa Kyoko had leveled up once. After roughly 10 more minutes of travel, they pushed through a dense thicket of trees. Ahead lay a hillside with sparse woodland. A small mound of red earth came into view, and at its base gaped a pitch-black cave entrance over 3 meters tall. Leaving the thick shrubbery behind, Wu Feng led his squad deeper into the forest. As they drew closer to the coordinates Anna's divination had pinpointed, the air grew noticeably more humid, and the distant roar of running water echoed faintly in their ears. Stay alert, there should be a pond up ahead. Wu Feng lowered his voice and gestured for the group to slow their pace. Gripping his bloodthirsty wolf blade tightly, he scanned the thick underbrush ahead with the sharp gaze of a hawk. They passed through the last stand of bushes, and the scenery opened up abruptly. A small pond perched on the edge of a cliff stretched out before them, 8 meters wide and 10 meters long. Its clear surface was dotted with a few rotting fallen leaves. 40 meters away, a 2-meter-wide river wound through the tree-line and fed into the pond. A break in the pond's cliffside bank sent clear water cascading straight down the precipice below. Over there, Lin Yunhee, whose eyes were sharp as a hawk, whispered sharply, pointing toward the gnarled exposed roots of an old locust tree beside the pond. The group followed her finger and spotted the iron tier treasure chest from Anna's divination, wedged deep within the cracks of the roots. A flicker of joy crossed everyone's faces, and they stepped forward to claim the loot. Yet the moment they shifted their weight, violent ripples suddenly churned across the previously still water. Croak! A shrill, malicious frog cry cut through the air. A purple figure leaped violently from the water and crashed onto the mud directly in front of the treasure chest, splattering muck everywhere. It was a giant purple frogman as tall as an adult human, its hide an unsettling shade of blackish-purple covered in bulbous toxic warts. Bulging, cloudy eyeballs locked onto the intruders, and its throat inflated as it gurgled menacingly. Lin Yunhee instantly activated her Insight Sight skill, and the monster's stat panel materialized for all to see. Purple Toxic Frogman Iron Elite Species. Magical Beast Level, 7 HP, 100 Skills. Venom Spray, Toxic Tongue Strangulation. Weak Point, Oral Cavity. Description: a cunning frogman that leverages aquatic terrain and deadly poison to torment its prey. Everyone watch your guard, Wu Feng barked, stepping forward to shield the women behind him. Ella, Mila, cover me. The words had barely left his mouth when red light ignited in Ella's palms, and a blazing fireball whistled forth. At the same time, Mila gathered ice elemental energy at her fingertips, loosing a razor-sharp ice arrow right after it. Twin streams of magic, one scorching hot, one bitterly cold, streaked toward the purple toxic frogman at a diagonal angle. Faced with the incoming assault, the frogman's bulging eyes narrowed sharply. Its powerful hind leg muscles tensed, and it executed an impossibly agile high leap, effortlessly dodging the crossfire of fire and ice. It had calculated the trajectory of the magic attacks perfectly, yet it had not accounted for Wu Fang's blistering speed. Mid-leap, when its momentum faded and it could not shift direction again, Wu Feng closed the distance like a cheetah. Both hands clamped tight around the bloodthirsty wolf blade, and he twisted his torso to deliver a brutal slash straight into the frogman's unprotected belly. Squelch! The sickening sound of steel-tearing flesh rang out. The frogman let out a shrill scream and went flying backward, crashing heavily into the mud. This isn't over. Wu Feng pressed his advantage without pause, charging forward in hot pursuit and swinging the wolf blade once more, casting a frigid silver arc through the air. Rip! Another heavy blow landed. The frogman's HP bar plummeted by half, and thick purple toxic blood gushed from its wound. Wu Feng raised the blade for a third finishing strike, but the frogman revealed shocking cunning. Writhing through searing agony, it curled its body and rolled sideways, narrowly evading the fatal slash, then used the momentum to dive headfirst back into the pond beside it. Splash! Water exploded outward, and the frogman's form vanished into the murky depths in an instant. Wu Feng stood with blade drawn, staring at the rippling surface, his brows furrowed. He did not dare chase after it recklessly. This was the frogman's home turf, and diving in would be a suicide move. Did it run away? Ella asked nervously. Wu Feng was about to tell the group to stay vigilant when movement on the water's surface made his pupils shrink to pinpricks. He had thought there was only one frogman, yet two enormous bubbles burst to the surface. Two more identical blackish-purple figures surged out of the water and landed behind the wounded half-health frogman. The three frogmen formed a triangular formation, 6 bulging eyes glowing with feral malice as they fixed their gaze firmly on the humans standing on the bank. Damn it, it went to call reinforcements. A heavy weight sank in Wu Feng's chest, veins bulging on the back of his hand where he gripped his blade. This frogman is utterly devious. It runs off to summon backup when outmatched. The three frogmen hopped onto dry land, their throats rumbling with an unsettling gurgle as if exchanging signals before their assault. The next second, all three purple figures tensed and lunged toward Wu Feng in unison, reeking of rotten muck and venom. Faced with this all-out charge, Wu Feng knew standing toe-to-toe against 3 elite frogmen was reckless. His eyes sharpened, his footwork shifted instantly, and he activated Swift Step without hesitation. His figure blurred as he slid sideways, narrowly dodging the lethal pounce. The 3 frogmen crashed hard into the mud, and before they could recover, Ella and Mila seized the perfect opening they had been waiting for. Boom. Zip. A blazing fireball and piercing ice arrow streaked forward, striking the 2 fully healthy frogmen on the left and right, blasting charred flesh and shards of ice into the air. Now's my chance. Wu Feng's gaze flashed with lightning speed. While the middle wounded frogman was still disoriented, he surged forward, channeling crushing force into the bloodthirsty wolf blade and slashing it hard across the beast's chest. Uffed. The gravely injured frogman went flying backward from the impact. Yet as its body hung suspended mid-air, its massive throat pouch swelled eerily without warning. Danger! Alarm bells blared in Wu Feng's mind. He barely had time to twist his torso when a thick glob of purple venom erupted from its gaping maw. They were far too close. Though he dodged most of the spray, some venom splashed across his left arm. Sizzle sizzle. A skin-crawling corrosive hiss echoed as white smoke billowed off his flesh, waves of searing agony shooting through his limb. Worse still, the toxic fumes rising from the wound seeped into his lungs with every breath. System alert. You have been afflicted with severe venom from the purple toxic frogman. Lose 1 HP every 5 seconds. Poison status active. In the blink of an eye, 30% of Wu Feng's HP vanished, and a numbing paralysis spread through his left arm. Wu Feng. From a distance, Qin Yan waved her palm, and soft white light wrapped around his body instantly. Purification art. The revolting purple toxic mist dissipated the moment the light washed over him. Isabel's healing art followed right after, warm restorative energy flooding the corrosed wound. His mangled arm knit back together before their eyes, and his HP climbed back to a safe threshold. Now fully recovered, a fierce glint burned in Wu Feng's eyes as he activated Gale Slash. The 3 frogmen, sensing mortal danger, panicked, and attempted to leap back into the pond to escape. The Ellis sisters immediately unleashed Fireball and Ice Arrow to cut off their retreat to the river. Think you can run? Too late. Wu Feng drew a deep breath, channeling wind elemental energy into his bloodthirsty wolf blade over 5 full seconds. He gripped the hilt with one hand and swept the blade violently toward the three beasts. Gale Slash, a fan-shaped cyan wind blade over 4 meters long, sliced through the air, silent, yet faster than lightning. The three frogmen only registered the incoming danger a split second too late. The razor gale cut clean through their bodies before they could react. Thud! The middle frogman, already below half HP, did not even have time to scream before its humanoid torso was severed at the waist, collapsing lifeless to the ground. The two frogmen on either side, sitting at roughly 75% HP, were grazed by the edge of the wind blade and crashed heavily into the mud, left barely clinging to life with mere scraps of HP remaining. Seeing the two critically wounded frogmen sprawled on the ground, the Ellis sisters shared a wordless understanding. A fireball and ice arrow launched almost simultaneously, landing the final killing blows. 2 dull thuds marked the end of the three frogmen's struggles, and 2 white light orbs rose from their corpses. Ding! Congratulations, your party has slain a level 7 Iron Elite Purple Toxic Frogman. You gained 10 EXP. Ding! Congratulations, your party has slain a level 7 Iron Elite Purple Toxic Frogman. You gained 10 EXP. Ding! Congratulations, your party has slain a level 7 Iron Elite Purple Toxic Frogman. You gained 10 EXP. All the women leveled up at once, their statuses fully restored by the level up refresh. Wu Feng trudged over to a patch of grass and sat down, exhausted. Go harvest the frogman corpses and open the treasure chest. I'll rest here a moment. At his instruction, Qin Yin and the others set about harvesting the beast carcasses, while the Ellis sisters Pride opened the treasure chest. Everyone uploaded their spoils to the team chat afterward. Wu Feng checked the 2 light orbs dropped by the frogmen. An Iron Tier Purple Frog Tunic plus 5 Strength, level 5, and an Iron Tier Purple Frog Trousers plus 5 Agility, level 5. The loot from the white treasure chest the Ellis sisters unlocked was rather mediocre. 10 bottles of 2-liter Frog Spring Mineral Water, 5 packs of spicy sour water spinach stems, 3 kilograms per pack, and 1 Iron Tier Necklace plus 5 Spirit, level 5. While resting, Wu Feng checked in on the progress of the other squads. The logging team was moving slowly, only having felled 4 units of lumber so far. Karina's resource team was faring better, with 5 units of stone and a haul of wild berries collected. The safe house remained quiet and secure for the time being. When he messaged Eliza for an update, she hesitated and mumbled that everything was fine. Wu Feng found this odd. He had not known her long, but she was never one to ramble or beat around the bush. He messaged Kitagawa Kyoko next, only to receive the same evasive reply. It was not until Anna uploaded an ultra-clear photo to the team chat that Wu Feng spat out the water he had just drunk in shock. The image showed a massive, obese red fur bear king pinned beneath a smaller red fur bear, with a third bear stacked on top of the pair behind them. Wu Feng thought to himself, are they playing some train line stacking game? Here was what had happened. Eliza's squad had reached the dark cave at the foot of the Red Earth Mound. After discussing a cautious advance, they ventured roughly 5 meters inside and spotted glowing stones lining the walls, lighting the cavern. They quickened their pace and rounded a bend to find an Iron Tier treasure chest. Daring not to act rashly, opening the chest would create a deafening racket in the silent cave. They first scouted the Red Fur Bear King's territory. Following the path lit by the glowing stones a few meters deeper, they spotted a 4 by 4 meter side cavern set into the left wall. Shining the glowstone's light inside revealed a sight Eliza and her squad would never forget. That was why, when Wu Feng messaged Eliza and Kitagawa Kyoko for a status report, neither could find the words to describe what they had seen and could only stammer that all was well. Seeing their awkward silence, Anna played a mischievous prank, pulled up the system camera, snapped the high-definition photo, and uploaded it straight to the team channel. Eliza and the rest of the women quickly hurried back to open the treasure chest and fled the bizarre cavern without delay, while the 3 bears never stirred an inch from their cozy nest. Qin Yin and the others saw Wu Feng spit out water and feared the frog venom had not fully cleared his system. They rushed over with concern. Wu Feng, are you alright? Is something hurting you? Infected by Eliza and Kyoko's flustered awkwardness, Wu Feng also mumbled hesitantly, only saying faintly, don't look at the team chat. Yet women's curiosity is as fierce as a cat's, telling them not to look only stoked their intrigue. After opening the photo, all 5 women froze on the spot. unable to shake the bizarre image from their minds. Regaining their senses, the group followed Wu Feng to the cliff edge, hoping the howling mountain wind would blow the unforgettable, absurd scene from their heads. But when they leaned over the precipice to look down, their recently calmed minds were struck speechless all over again by the grand vista laid out before them. 1,000-meter-wide mighty river stretched across the land 100 meters below the cliff, its source unknown, raging with thunderous rapids. On the opposite bank lay an endless wild plain, a primordial, lawless arena of beasts. Herds of one-eyed, three-horned cattle grazed on tender grass. Bipedal blue-furred sheepfolk clutched bone clubs, foraging while staying vigilant of their surroundings. Hyenas with fleshy wings sprouting from their backs darted through the tall grass hunting prey. At the far edge of the plain rose an unbroken expanse of ancient forest. Just how vast is the map of this world? Qin Yin murmured, stunned silent by the sprawling, complete ecosystem spread out before her. At that moment, Isabel gasped sharply, her trembling finger shooting out to point dead center of the river. What is that? All eyes locked onto where her finger pointed, and every heart skipped a beat. The previously churning river surface turned eerily calm. Then a terrifying shadow over 20 meters long slowly surfaced. The colossal beast bore a crocodile-like head, its entire body sheathed in pitch-black scales as hard as steel that glinted coldly under sunlight. Only a portion of its back had emerged above water, yet it loomed like a drifting island, its massive frame displacing waves that pushed the surrounding current far aside. Gulp! Someone swallowed hard, the sound echoing unnaturally loud in the dead silence. A primal shudder swept over every person's body, every hair standing on end. The oppressive aura emanating from the Leviathan dwarfed that of the purple toxic frogman they had fought earlier, even surpassing the unforgettable red fur bear king back in the cave. Leave. Hurry away. Wu Feng reacted fastest, barking a low urgent order. Shaken from their stupor, terrified of rousing the river giant with any sudden movement, the women retreated backward from the cliff edge with pale faces, stepping lightly, yet moving as quickly as they could. Only once they had put a safe distance between themselves and the precipice did they dare draw deep, gasping breaths. Wu Feng leaned against a tree trunk, his heart still hammering violently in his chest. He forced a bitter smile at the group, all of them wide-eyed and trembling from shock. It seems this world is far more dangerous than any of us imagined. The fleeting glimpse of that colossal river monster hung heavy over everyone's hearts, a mountain-sized weight pressing down on their minds. Wu Feng glanced at the time, 11:15. He decided to head back to the cabin first to help with logging. Their progress today was far faster than on the first day, so they needed to strike while the iron was hot and stock up on resources. On the way back, several reckless forest black wolves tried to block their path, yet they didn't even graze the hem of Wu Feng's clothes before being instantly slain with a single slash of his bloodthirsty wolf blade. Just as Wu Feng prepared to press on, an odd meow echoed from deep in the dense woods 100 meters to his left. The group instantly went on high alert, lightening their footsteps as they crept closer. Peering through gaps in the shrubbery, the sight before them stole everyone's breath. 5 cat demons standing upright, each roughly 1 meter tall, circling a bronze treasure chest glowing with faint dim radiance. Wu Feng's sharp eyes locked onto a white cat demon perched directly atop the chest at once. Yunqi, scan them. Lin Yunqi immediately activated her skill Insight Eyes. A few seconds later, detailed stats for the monsters synced to the team chat. Holy Light Cat Demon Iron Black Elite Species. Beast Level, 8 HP, 100 Skills. Furious Combo, Heal Weak Points. Abdomen, Back Description. Heal Skill. Meow meow meow. The 4 surrounding guardians were level 7 jungle cat demons, their heal ability replaced with the far more aggressive leaping assault. The allure of the bronze treasure chest was undeniable, yet the monster formation was troublesome. 5 cat demons, including an elite capable of both healing and attacking, made for overwhelming numbers. Wu Feng knew clearly that with their current lineup, he could not hold aggro while safeguarding the backline alone. 2 frontliners could each take on 2 foes, but right now, he wasted no time messaging Karina in the chat to explain the situation. 20 minutes later, Karina arrived with a reinforcement squad from their logging site 1 kilometer away. After a brief 5-minute rest, their battle tactics were finalized. Wu Feng and Karina would act as dual frontliners, each drawing 2 jungle cat demons. Liang Xian, Atsuko Kitagawa, and the Ella sisters formed the backline damage group, focusing all firepower on the targets Wu Feng held. Isabel took sole responsibility for healing, while Han Xiaoyan, and the rest kept watch over the perimeter to guard against unexpected ambushes. Move out. At his command, the backline led by Liang Zian struck first. Streaks of skill light sliced through the air, slamming accurately into one jungle cat demon on the left. A string of damaged figures floated above its head in an instant, its health plummeting by 35. The second the jungle cat demon crumpled, the grass erupted into motion. Wu Feng and Karina pounced out from either flank like cheetahs. Before Wu Feng even steadied his footing, he cast swiftness. His long blade whipped forward with a howl of wind, delivering a crushing heavy slash at the wounded cat demon. But disaster struck without warning. The moment his blade was about to land, another nearby jungle cat demon pushed off the ground and lunged forward like a cannonball, leaping assault. To avoid being knocked airborne and breaking his attack rhythm, Wu Feng was forced to abort his strike and retreat. In that split second of evasion, a thick surge of vivid green light washed over the wounded jungle cat demon on the ground. Its health bar ticked upward visibly to the naked eye, the 35 lost HP restored to full in the blink of an eye. Wu Feng snapped his gaze upward and spotted the holy light cat demon atop the chest, claws raised high with an earnest look on its feline face. That critical heal had come straight from it. Damn it, it's healing them. Wu Feng cursed under his grip, tightening his hold on his blade. We need to burst down the jungle cat demons all at once. Glancing sideways out of the corner of his eye, he saw Karina slashing one jungle cat demon viciously with Dragon Claw Strike. Yet the familiar green glow flared again the next second, fully restoring the monster's health without a scratch left. This holy light cat demon's heal has such a short cooldown. A chill ran down Wu Feng's spine, yet he spotted a critical weakness. Though the elite's heal cooldown was minimal, it could only lock onto a single target and could not perform group restoration. The instant Wu Feng's attention wandered to observe it, another jungle cat demon circling beside him erupted into a lightning-fast charge. By the time Wu Feng snapped back to reality, the stench of beast breath washed over him. There was no way to dodge. All or nothing. A ferocious glint flashed in Wu Feng's eyes. Instead of evading, he chose to trade wounds for wounds. His bloodthirsty wolf blade glinted with blood-red cold light, sweeping horizontally toward the charging cat demon's neck in a brutal slash. Slish! Sharp claws raked hard against Wu Feng's fish scale armor, sending sparks flying. The jungle cat demon unleashed furious combo, 3 deep gashes torn into the plate in the blink of an eye. The moment the third claw strike landed, Wu Feng's wolf blade sliced cleanly across, the sharp edge piercing the demon's carotid artery. The tremendous impact sent the cat demon flying horizontally, crashing heavily onto the earth. Meanwhile, another demon rushing to fill its position was staggered and knocked away by precisely aimed water arrow and crossbow bolts from the backline. Now's our chance. Wu Feng seized the fleeting opening. Wind element energy surged wildly inside him as he roared. Karina, draw them over. Group them up. Karina caught his meaning at once, deliberately exposing an opening. The jungle cat demons immediately swiveled to target her. However, the holy light cat demon perched on the chest sensed mortal danger and let out a shrill, urgent screech. The 4 jungle cat demons charging Karina abruptly altered course, veering around her. 4 black silhouettes fanned out to pounce simultaneously at Wu Feng, who was channeling a powerful skill. By this point, Wu Feng had condensed wind element power to its peak. He watched the 4 monsters barreling toward him and curled a cold smirk onto his lips, shouting loudly, "Karina, get clear." Karina spread her wings and shot upward into the air. The 4 jungle cat demons leaped mid-air at the exact same moment, unleashing leaping assault straight for Wu Feng. Gill slash. Wu Feng gripped his blade with one hand and swept it violently across the fan-shaped area ahead. Whoosh! An invisible 4-meter wind blade howled forth, piercing through all 4 airborne jungle cat demons in an instant. Its residual momentum carried onward, slamming into the holy light cat demon standing atop the chest. Boom, 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 boom. The 4 jungle cat demons flew backward like broken kites and crashed hard into the ground, losing 70 of their HP at a stroke. The wind blade's aftershock slammed brutally into the elite healer, blasting it clean off the treasure chest. Strike fast. Don't let them get back up. The 4 backline mages led by Liang Zian had long finished channeling their spells. Fireball and other skills rained down unsparingly onto the fallen jungle cat demons, finishing them off instantly. The holy light cat demon, left with only 40 HP, struggled to its feet. It raised its claws to cast heal once more, but a streak of red descended from the sky. Trying to heal? You'll have to get past me first. Karina slammed a diving dragon claw strike hard into the elite's skull, the massive impact sending it flying again. Before the monster could hit the ground, a storm of fireballs, ice arrows, and water arrows engulfed it completely. Amid a string of shrill wails, the Holy Light Cat Demon's health bar emptied entirely, dissolving into experience points for the whole party. As the elite's final mournful cry faded into the air, system chimes rang non-stop beside Wu Feng's ears. Ding! Congratulations! Your party has slain the level 8 elite Holy Light Cat Demon. You gain 12 EXP. Ding! Congratulations! Your party has slain a level 7 Jungle Cat Demon. You gain 8 EXP. A flood of experience notifications scrolled across their screens. Once the alerts ended, every member leveled up. The tension draining from their bodies gave way to overwhelming exhaustion that washed over them all at once. Wu Feng's legs buckled, and he slumped unceremoniously onto the grass, gasping for heavy breaths. Though his burst attack had looked spectacular, it had drained massive amounts of stamina and spirit. Everyone except the perimeter watch converged around him, staring at the 5 cat demon corpses, for floating white loot orbs, and the heavy bronze treasure chest on the ground. Excitement glinted in every pair of eyes. This grueling fight had been more than worth it. Phew, this was far harder than fighting those 3 purple poison frogmen earlier. Wu Feng wiped cold sweat from his forehead, still shaken by the close call. If our damage output had been any lower, those jungle cat demons would have been healed non-stop, and we would have wiped here today. Thank God I played it safe and called Karina over. Dual frontliners are rock solid. At that, Liang Zian, Atsuko Kitagawa, and the other 2 girls stepped forward to harvest the corpses and collect the glowing orbs with practiced ease. Moments later, equipment stat links popped up in the team chat sent by Liang Zian. Aside from 3 white tier items, the icon of the 4th piece made Wu Feng's eyes twitch. It was a fluffy cat tail tipped with a silver stinger. Cat Demon Tail Special Item Note. Special tier equipment has no level requirements. Anyone can equip it. Stats: Stamina +3, Endurance +3 special effect. Slightly boosts stamina resistance when worn, or can be thrown as a concealed dart. Wu Feng stared at the cat tail, the corners of his mouth twitching uncontrollably. He teased her in the team chat. Liang Zian, did your finger slip when sending the loot link? Did you send the 4th item by mistake? This design looks like some unspeakable trinket to toy with. The second Liang Zian read the message, her harvesting motions froze and she flew into a rage. She whirled around, eyes blazing, jabbing a finger straight at Wu Feng's nose. Wu Feng, what garbage fills your head all day? Open your eyes and look clearly. It's a special item. Do you even know what special items are? This rare treasure boosts endurance. I think those cat scratches addled your brain. Do you want a taste of my water arrow? Watching Liang Zian ready to charge over and fight him, Wu Feng relented. Fine, we'll split it as we're loot back at the cabin. Wu Feng held off opening the chest to inspect the 3 newly dropped iron black pieces of gear first. Cat Claw Bracelet Iron Black Slot. Wrist Accessory Level Requirement. 5 stats. Strength +5 Jungle Leather Armor Iron Black Slot. Torso Level Requirement. 5 stats. Agility +5 Cat Demon Longsword Iron Black Slot. Weapon Level Requirement. 6 stats. Strength +6. After tallying all spoils, the group quickly cleared the battlefield and gathered around the bronze treasure chest. Wu Feng drew a deep breath and pressed his palm against the lid. Opening bronze treasure chest progress. 1, 15, 20 estimated time remaining, 15 seconds. Warning, the opening process will be interrupted if you take damage. Ensure the surrounding area is secure. A soft click echoed as the lid flew open, followed by the crisp system announcement chime. Ding! You have opened a bronze treasure chest. Obtained. Bronze Hunting Bow Bronze ×1 obtained. Arrow Tower Blueprint Bronze ×1 obtained. 19L Frog Weep Barreled Water ×10 obtained. Tactical Binoculars ×1. Wu Feng immediately shared the haul to the team chat. The group's cheers nearly shook the treetops. The 10-19-liter water barrels were a lifesaver. Though they had water storage gourds back at the cabin, the sweltering forest drained their supplies far too fast. With nearly 200 liters of fresh water stockpiled, their survival pressure eased drastically. Wu Feng's gaze drifted over the other new items. Bronze Hunting Bow Bronze Slot. Weapon Level Requirement. 5 stats. Strength +6. Agility +3 Arrow Tower Blueprint Bronze Building Type. Defense Tower Required Materials. Lumber ×10. Beast Tendon ×5 Special Effect. Rapid Fire. Attack Speed increased by 20. Tactical binoculars special effect. Night vision, nighttime visibility equal to daylight, drastically boosts long-distance observation range. Every face lit up the second they saw the Arrow Tower blueprint. The constant crash of monsters slamming against the cabin doors through last night had been a nightmare, leaving barely anyone able to sleep. With this defensive tower, their nighttime safety would be fully guaranteed from now on. Give this bronze hunting bow to Atsuko. Wu Feng made an instant decision, passing the bronze glinting longbow to Atsuko Kitagawa. As the only archer with long-term practice in the squad, she could unlock its full potential. After discussion, her original basic crossbow went to Han Xiaoyan, who had shooting experience, filling her empty weapon slot. Once gear was distributed, the group rested for 10 minutes on site, chugging water to restore stamina. After the short break, they sat together to plan their next move, unanimously agreeing to head to the riverside where the unicorn merlion had been spotted to grind levels. They also planned to ask Su Jiasen to craft large wooden barrels via player trade to fill all their cabin water containers. Victoria had learned the water storage vessel blueprint that morning. It could hold 2,000 liters, and the cabin consumed massive volumes of water for washing and cooking. Note: personal trades work freely within the same zone. Cross-zone trades are unavailable. Only the public trading post supports cross-region exchange. Wu Feng and Karina led the group front and rear as they crept carefully toward the river. Over 20 unicorn merlions swam beneath the clear surface. Ella sisters, pull aggro from afar, Wu Feng ordered in a low voice. The Ella sisters understood instantly. Ice arrow and fireball streaked through the air, striking 2 riverside unicorn merlions cleanly. The wounded monsters roared and charged onto land, walking straight into the group's encirclement. Focus fire brought them down in merely 60 seconds. They repeated the tactic for roughly 20 minutes, wiping every unicorn merlion from the river. 10 white loot orbs dropped throughout the grind. 8 contained food and daily supplies, while the remaining 2 were identical weapons, awarded to the Ellis sisters for their outstanding damage contribution. Sea Lion Staff Iron Black Slot. Weapon level requirement. 5 stats. Spirit +6. This way, Wu Feng's gaze sharpened, pointing to a 5-meter-tall boulder not far off. That was the lair of the unicorn merlion king they'd spotted guarding the bronze chest earlier. As if sensing the scent of its foes, 2 deep roars rumbled out of the pitch-black cave behind the massive rock. When it laid eyes on Wu Feng, the thief, who'd looted its treasure, fury blazed tangible in its pupils. It slammed its hind legs against the ground and unleashed its skill unicorn charge, surging forward like a heavy tank. The dozen-meter gap closed in an instant, wreaking beast wind bearing down on Wu Feng. The moment the king's lethal claws were about to tear into him, boom. A deafening crack split the air as a dark red fireball the size of a wash basin, condensed to extreme density, crashed down from the sky like a meteor, slamming dead center on the unicorn merlion king's crown. Roaring dragon fire erupted outward instantly. The brutal impact coupled with searing heat forced the colossal beast to its knees. Its entire body flew backward more than 3 meters, crashing heavily to carve a deep gouge into the soil. Its health bar plummeted by 45 in a flash amid the blinding flames. Even its hard ivory horn blazed red-hot, sizzling with burnt smoke under the intense temperature. Strike while it's down. Before the Merlion King could recover from the blow, Wu Feng raised his long blade high overhead. Gale slash. Wind element power gathered along his blade with a shrill whistling hum. At the same time, the mages behind him unleashed a barrage of spells. Fireballs, ice arrows, and water arrows hammered the king the second it staggered back to its feet, forcing it to retreat non-stop with no opening to counterattack. Die! Wu Feng finished channeling his skill and swept his blade hard. A 4-meter cyan wind blade howled forth, slicing horizontally through the unicorn Merlion King's body like the scythe of death. Squelch! The giant beast's torso split cleanly at the waist, and it collapsed heavily to the ground. 2 white, glowing loot orbs slowly rose above its corpse,